Hello everyone, welcome to MinusOneCHarisma, the second best Dungeons & Dragons stream on the internet. Dungeons & Dragons stream on the internet. I just have words today are hard. Thank you for joining us for our Aventide stream as we continue our delve into Adgarod and the mysteries that lie there within. Oh jeez.
Red Bull, Jaymes!
Yes.
Yeah, Jaymes! Red Bull! Or two!
Stick
Maybe
around.
you
I got...
Have you
I love Red Bull. Oh my god, Kate.
Oh my god.
Kate, you just hurt my heart. Like I feel like my liver is.
That can't be good. You
Stick
can't do
around.
that.
We're gonna play some D&D, and we're gonna give some stickers away at break. So hang out for that, and we're gonna roll the intro to get and hopefully get Kate an ambulance. Previously on Aventide, we fought something called the Clacker. I say we, I meant more they. They fought something called the Clacker, where they lost their favorite sea captain, Captain Seafloor, who now rests with his namesake upon the seafloor.
Rest in peace, Seafloor.
Eh.
Good riddance. Glad you're dead.
Hey, Cullen, how do you feel? Yeah, I was gonna say, how do you feel about?
Fuck,
But
Captain Seafloor.
they did not come back unharmed. Rezik was mortally wounded and almost killed. These giant teeth the size of a human being stabbing through his body, then breaking off into thousands of shards of glass, cutting his insides up as he moves with every breath, cutting him deeper and deeper and deeper. They rushed him to a hospital. They found out that the surgery, the spellcasting surgery amalgamation, would cost something around the tune of 1,500 gold coins, which they didn't have. Luckily, they had chatted with a rich Kuroseth, who is one of the founding houses of Adgarod, the oldest son of the Kuroseth house. He had offered to pay the 1,500 gold coins in for a trade. He had to get to a certain location in the Wildling Isle to the north, which was this very exclusive, hard to get to island that no one really goes to. But he has a secret entrance that he knows about that most people don't, which he wants to use, and he asks them to take him. It's difficult. He's been paralyzed from the waist down, so he needs the aid of the party to get there, and he asks that they don't ask questions and they don't tell anybody about it. A little mysterious, but they agreed. They really didn't have a choice unless they wanted to let Rezik die, which, you know, I was fine with, but they decided was not a good idea. And they had to do that. They had a week to do that. They have the Founders Ball, which is a big, glamorous event thrown on by the hoity-toities of Adgarod coming up before that, and they agreed to leave after. But in the meantime, while Rezik's going through a week of surgery, they had another package. They're trying to save their friend Camden, who has this cursed ring, which is tearing his soul apart continuously, like a sheet of glass being broken by a hammer, glued back together, and then smashed again over and over and over in an endless loop. So they needed some items for this elven mage named the Magus to break that curse from his ring, so they're on the quest to do that ultimately. So the second part of their quest after getting the Clacker Heart, which they got, is they needed to pick up a parcel from Windspire Outpost, which is to the south in the mountains, the Bighorn Mountains. So they were going to gear up to do that as they just got back from killing the Clacker and healing Rezik. There we go. So that is where we are at currently. What are you guys doing? You spent the night on the beach. You shipped Rezik over. You had that conversation with Thargan, Rockspine Kuroseth, about how he needs your aid to get to the Wildling Isle 2 days after the ball, the Founders Ball. And it's still basically 10 o'clock-ish, so you guys are, it's pretty early in the day.
Wow, late risers.
Yeah,
no?
yeah.
What do we do with that crab meat?
It's just lying, strewn about amidst our
And just
bodies on the beach. Yeah, it's getting warm.
attracting birds.
Yeah, and Fitz
Pup has,
watches
like, a
with
jar of it.
disgust as Pup is eating the jar. She had shoved a whole jar full of that stuff, so it's like honeyed crab meat at this point. Raw honeyed crab meat.
Yeah, what is it? Do we just have it in like a bag, DM? Like what happens? Other than the honey that's
Piled in the boat.
Pup has.
You had grabbed, I think, 2 appendages. You grabbed the
Yeah.
claws of that big rock spine because you didn't have any room on the
Otherwise,
boat.
you wouldn't let us have it. Yeah, we know.
So you could-
So
I
we
mean,
just still
it
have
doesn't look-
those.
Yeah, it doesn't look raw or anything yet. It's still. I would have assumed you guys kept it.
Is
You guys
this
slept on the
meat gonna
beach, so
bend
you
in the
guys
button?
probably like kept it closer to
In the
the
crab.
pondo. Where
Okay, but it's like still in the arm.
it's in the
casing, right?
shell. Yeah. Big old
okay,
crab arm.
Yeah, which is like Tupperware of Aventide. I don't know if you guys know.
It's
but
the
we have
Tupperware of the
parties.
sea world. Yeah. Of seafood.
Resin can just presto or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we'll have to sell that or eat that, or I don't know.
You gotta get it out of my boat. It's
You guys
gonna
want to
smell.
try this?
No, not
But
even.
it's
a little.
good.
I'm fresh.
I don't doubt that.
Mm.
No
No, you look like you're
Trust?
enjoying it so much.
one?
Yeah.
It's all you.
And Fitz is just looking absolutely disgusted. Just.
But it's so good.
So
Pup, that smells awful. Please eat
What
it.
do you mean? It smells amazing.
Finish it quickly, or do not continue eating it, please. My presence. No, please. If I have ever
I know,
asked you
it's
for
like-
anything in my
like
life,
trying to,
please do
like,
not. And he
his
just
face
runs.
with
He just
it.
literally gets up and runs down the beach, like as far as he can away from you, which might not be the best thing to do for someone like Pup, but he tries anyways.
yeah.
Can I look around and see? Is there anyone else pulling up like fresh caught anything onto the beach somewhere? Does it look like it's going
There are
to a particular?
fishermen. No one has anything near the size. I mean, those claws.
Are we
were
at the pondo?
Huge. You guys were at the
Still?
pondo. I assumed you guys just took the crab with you.
Yeah, I'm just wondering where we are now.
Mhm. Yeah, you guys are in the city, the pondo. There were people. I mean, you've seen a lot of fishermen though on the beach, the landing, pulling up fish and things like that. It's not uncommon to see that.
That's down by where we met Sleefuller.
Yeah.
Sleefuller?
Mhm.
Okay. Just getting it all in my brain.
Yeah, getting it in the brain.
Putting all the pieces into place.
Just, you know?
Yeah,
like
I can
Batman.
actually pull that up real quickly.
Yeah.
Rachel.
Maybe we should try selling it to one of these. We should try selling it to one of rather than trying to go selling up in town.
I mean,
Oh, no, DM,
yeah?
what were you saying?
No.
No,
I mean,
you
you're
had an
already
idea
in.
there.
You're already kind of in town. I
Yeah.
assumed you guys would
Yeah,
slept.
we'd have to go back down the damn elevator or whatnot. I think it might actually just be better to try and sell it to one of the local, inns or something, or cookhouses, or why introduce a middleman?
Yeah,
Or I
that's a true
guess,
statement. But they might ask us for our papers, sort of thing, and we're not.
Yeah.
We're labor.
You guys,
you're
if
not-
you remember, you guys are. Oh wow, you guys are over here in Pondo, where the people sleep on the beach, right here along this coast, and you guys had just left your boat over in this area over here, the landing, because you guys had come from Grimjaw straight up down here. You kind of just left your boat there because that's what people do. Those small boats. There's just a whole set of boats there, which can be dangerous,
Have
depending.
we been on that badass bridge yet?
You guys haven't been to that bridge yet.
Okay. It just looks cool.
That's actually the name of the bridge. It's Badass Bridge.
Badass bridge. And
But
I'm
you guys
assuming there's
are
like
here
bungee
right here
jumping
right
off of it
now.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
I kept forgetting how separate Pondo and the sea were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, it's confusing because the Pondo has that ocean-like current where the
Yeah.
waves are still coming in like a beach, even though it from what you can tell, it looks like a lake that just collects mountain runoff.
Yeah, because it's fresh water, right?
It's not. It's seawater. It's
Huh?
salty. Mm-hmm.
What? But it collects mountain runoff?
It's as far as you can tell, it does.
Do the mountains look like they're made of salt?
Well, it's combined with.
Hard to tell. The mountains in this
Rachel.
area are lush green hills. They're very, very tall, shooting up hundreds and hundreds of feet, but completely covered in greenery and like a lush, almost jungle-like texture to them. Have you ever seen the mountains in China? I think they're called the Yellow Mountains. They're these huge peaks covered in trees and greenery everywhere. It's
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting because a lot of mountain peaks,
Like the
especially
ones in DBZ?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yes, I'll leave it
Okay.
at that. Yes. Oh my god. Oh.
Okay.
So I guess each one of us grab a claw and we'll go see if we can't sell these to someone.
Yeah.
Should we try usual
there-
spot?
It's not fresh water. I was gonna go for a swim and try and wash all this disgusting off me, but never mind. If it's not fresh water, then fuck that. Cool. Yeah. Let's go.
Maybe we'll turn it into some addies or something. Who knows?
Absolutely. Yeah. We should save just a little.
Oh, you're
Put
right.
on it.
And then I pull out one of my addies from yesterday, left over that I still have, and I put
Oh.
crab meat in it.
Oh boy.
And you
was-
had fallen in the water a couple times,
Oh,
right? So
yeah,
this is
yeah,
a
yeah, I sure did.
waterlogged.
It's a
I
salted
sure
addy.
did. I sure did.
How are you still hungry? Oh, that's fine.
Growing pup.
I
got
got a bone to fix. You know, you gotta get the
Yeah,
Hey,
and pup,
how-
pup, your
the
leg,
glue.
your
How
leg,
shit-
shittily is
glue
pup walking?
and still.
yeah, pup, your leg isn't healed by any stretch of the imagination, but it's starting to. You can feel it. You can put a little bit more pressure on it now. Your movement's probably still -10 instead of halved, but
Okay.
you're still. It's
Alright,
slowly
alright.
getting better. It's actually pretty quickly getting better. Dresden, you know that broken bones take weeks
Didn't
to
heal
heal.
like that.
Pup's leg, for whatever reason, is healing. You just look at them, and their leg is like they're putting way more pressure than you would think was like reasonable. You know,
Well,
maybe
yeah, I
almost
mean,
to the
if-
point
if-
where you're like, oh, don't do that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, because if wood was not such a priceless commodity, I would have made a crutch. But
Oh, there we go.
Hey!
Ayo.
Hey yo,
hey,
we'll
yo,
do this. Well, Tress is getting her camera together.
yeah. So as we're walking, I just want to sort of turn to anyone that's not distracted by the beautiful. Yeah, yeah. We're all just carrying it. I don't know how big it is, but from now on, we're carrying it like a log on our shoulders, like we're in boot camp. And be like, hey, just a question. This Thurgan Rockspine Coruseth guy, right? He's got all the means in the world, right? I mean, pretty much.
Seems like it.
Why is he gotta be? Why do we gotta be taking him to this place almost in secret? Right? Like, that's
Yeah.
odd, no?
Yeah, it does seem a little odd.
I don't know.
It's
Just-
And
such a large amount of gold to take him there too.
right?
Is
That's
that
all I'm saying.
where-
Is I've been burned before.
Is that where those flying ladies were? Where they were like flying
I'm not
down?
Sure.
Ooh.
no,
Dean,
that
what
was
do we know
that
about-
was
what do we know about
Erosin.
place?
That was Erosin Isle. I was on your way. There was like a giant spire that was very thick, diameter-wise, and it just shot up into the air, and you just saw birds
Reese's.
along the whole thing. Yeah. Hello.
But not that
Day.
place.
Day, nice to
Day.
have you with us.
Hello.
Also, I forgot.
can't hear
who,
you.
Who was still deafened by the clacker's
Oh.
clack?
Oh, I forgot about that too.
Yeah, all of you guys roll a
No, I
Constitution
think it was
save.
just
wait,
Cornelia
yeah,
and
no.
me.
Yeah, I actually got better a little.
Okay,
Yeah.
Cornelia and Pup. You guys can hear now, but roll. Both of you roll Constitution saves.
8.
8.
You didn't
13?
modify?
13.
What?
Pup, your hearing seems to come back as normal. Cornelia, You might have had some permanent damage.
Oof.
For the time being, it seems that like whenever you make a perception check when trying to hear something, it's going to be a disadvantage for now. Just your eardrums never quite came back. There's like a slight humming or buzzing sound.
Constitution, that's a natural 20. I'm kidding.
Just for now.
Okay.
Unless.
Fucking fantastic.
Way off.
Yeah.
All right, and what do you guys want to do?
Well,
Besides-
our
or
main
who do you want to
question
sell
was,
this to?
Well, no. Back up just a half a second. You told us about the super thick tower, great tower, like
Yes.
base, just wide, right? But what do we actually know about the Wildling Isle? Do we know anything about that?
That was that you had seen some guys, like small creatures that looked just like they were wearing a giant leafy bush, and they were the ones screaming at you as you floated by. They had like
Okay,
little spears,
not-
and they were the ones yelling like "Watiti gaga"
Do they
at you.
do they look anything like the ones that were throwing rocks at us when we were headed?
No,
into the
completely
grim-
different.
Okay.
Those were hard. Those were actually
Totally,
hard to see because they were just peeking over and then throwing rocks at you, and then peeking back.
Right.
So,
Okay.
and they had been making different sounds, but from what you could tell, those wildlings on Wildling Isle, which you assume, they were completely different.
Had culture.
This is yet to be seen.
All right, we'll have to find out. How far away was that roughly? Just like a
Wildling
day,
Isle
2 days
was
sail?
about a day. Well, it was about a day sail to Vivanine's Rest, which
Right.
Thargon had said you had to land at Vivanine's Rest and then go along the coast, which the coast would maybe be 5-day trek. It's
Oh,
tough
wow.
because
Can't we just go
you'd
by
have
boat?
to have some animal transports just because of the nature that his chair doesn't go. He was in the wheelchair, and so he would have to get some kind of animal or some mode of transportation across the sandy beach.
And we can't sail directly to Wildling Isle because
Well, so there was a really steep shelf and there was huge rocks all around it, so you can't land. And he said one day
So
out of
there,
the month, at low tide, there's a special event where the tide goes extremely low and there's a land bridge that forms in the sand that you can run across very, very quickly and then start climbing up the island. There's just no place to dock because of how rocky and jagged.
so otherwise
The
it's a
island
bit
is.
of a Clips of Insanity situation.
Yeah.
Do
It's-
we
it's-
know, or does anybody know, are there flying creatures in this world that could carry people that...
Fly, you fools!
As far as you know, you've heard of people riding flying creatures, but there's nothing commercial or widespread use that. I mean-
Spirit Airlines doesn't exist.
It's a good question, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh, okay.
Cool. Yeah. So then, just that's all I wanted to know. Sorry, that was
Mhm.
a bit of a
No, no.
departure. Yeah. What do we want to do though today? Oh wait. What do we want to do today?
What?
Make it bigger. It'll sell for more.
And I'm small, so it probably is like it's
Yeah.
uncomfortable. Get rid of this.
It doesn't feel good. Let's sell this.
Heavy.
Yeah. Well, relative size because Kelwise is a halfling, so.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm on the thick end.
So you guys kind of go walking through town. These giant claws on your backs or on your shoulders. People looking at you. You stand out like a sore thumb.
Co. That's gonna be saying our
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
Advertisement, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
joining with like my nasty sandwich. Just
Mm.
yeah,
The
Cornelia.
grossest
go!
sandwich, and it mixes with that raw clacker meat that you were eating from your honey jar. Honeyed
Even
raw crab meat
Big-
with old
Of course.
wet logged sandwich.
Hell yeah.
How far
So-
away is that ball?
The ball.
The ball.
It's near where it's in the Koroseth house. So
in
it
time.
Oh, we.
it was a week.
Does ice exist in this world?
In fact, you have someone who can Manifest ice.
All right. What about a super great gift for the ball / we sell it to the people throwing the ball? Cornelia Co?
That's a pretty good idea.
Right? This is heavy too. I don't want to keep holding it.
Yeah. And let's get it back over to Pondo. I'll create I can make some ice, and we can put it on ice.
We're just gonna. We're gonna take this part of the lake, or
Cowwise,
That's a good
roll a check, survival check.
Okay.
Roughly, like I know we're joking, but like how many pounds of this meat do we roughly have?
You probably have, well, with the shell attached, it's like 60 to 70 pounds. It's a beefy claw.
19.
At 19, you know seafood. Seafood doesn't
It's not gonna make
store well. Much less
Yeah, but we've
seafood
got-
that's been left out all night.
Damn it.
Yeah, we're gonna need to sell this right now or eat it.
All right. Cornelia Co.
Didn't Captain Tide tell us that this was really good? Should we give some to him?
ooh, if he's still here.
Oh yeah, let's drop some at Tide's house for sure.
He
All
does
right.
have a house in town, doesn't
His
he?
house.
We're
Yeah.
sleeping on the beach. No. Yeah, let's go there. I don't know how to get there.
Maybe split
North
up.
of
Someone takes one.
Cobblestone
Yeah.
Lane.
Yeah. He gave us very specific
The red
instructions that I would
house
remember.
with the
Did, though,
different
actually.
door.
Cobbleton, 3 over south, 1 west from Cobbleport. Shall we go there?
Okay, roll
Those
a
aren't
survival. Roll a survival. With advantage.
With advantage?
Mm-hmm.
Bobby dies. Oh, they're impossible to see. A 17 and an 18 plus
Ooh.
0. Plus a 0. So 18.
You start looking around and you find a house and you kind of know it. You look at the door. Again, all the doors are painted vivid colors, very artistic, especially on the doorways of these big rock houses with the domed lids. And you find a house with snowflakes and ice painted on it, but it almost looks like it was drawn by a child. A very young child on this door, just covered.
Yeah, that looks like Tide's work.
Or his child? Son?
Child's?
No, that's probably him.
Yeah, no. If this isn't his place, we're giving it to him anyway in spirit. Let's.
Someone gonna knock?
Yeah, I just battering ram the door a bit with the claw.
Yeah, you knock on the door, and you wait for quite a while, and this little old gnome woman kind of pokes her head out on the door, the house next to you.
Grabogram.
Are you looking? Hello? What are you,
Yes,
what are you doing? What is that
Grabogram.
giant thing? Crabogram.
No, it's a joke, ma'am. I guess it doesn't translate from Central. Never mind.
What?
Let's see. Hey,
Speak
is
up.
Tide in? Is the tide
Tide.
in?
No. They went on a family trip together. Took his son
All of them.
and wife. Yes, well, when he comes home, they like to travel and spend time together.
And they left
Rarely
you
ever
behind.
home. Look at me. I'm not going on adventure. And she kind of shows you like her arms are so thin that you're like, how do you lift that? Do you have any
Oh, wow,
muscle
like olive
left?
oil.
Yeah, very olive oil-esque.
I just turned everyone. Did we give the old woman the crab? I'm not sure she'll be able to chew it.
I can pass along a message for you if you'd like, though. That is if I survive. Just a little joke.
Oh my God,
Just
lady.
a little joke. I'm
All
never
right.
gonna die. Look at me.
That's funny.
Yeah. The part of me that like helps heal people sort of he's very concerned. Is she gonna die?
No.
No, guys, what do we do?
Maybe see if she likes
You
You
them.
are muted, Daye. I've been muted this whole time.
Still
Oh.
don't hear you.
Don't you have to bop your mic or something like that?
Bop it. Bop it good.
Give it, bop it, pup it. Give it a pup bop.
This is,
As I'm muted, saying bop.
Yeah.
Triple tap.
Fix it.
Well, we obviously can't give it to Captain Tide, so I guess we're gonna have to try to go sell this at the pub.
Yeah, let's just go to the treble clef for
We could
the
just
fucking.
and Fitz is kind of looking in one of the windows. We could just
Passing.
throw
Yeah.
something into his
Yeah, I
house.
hear you.
We can
Yes,
do what?
Fitz.
What'd you
Just
say,
throw
Fitz?
some into his house. Just leave him some here.
Well,
It'll be
it's-
stinky.
That would be bad. He would
What?
not like us much.
Why?
His butt.
Well,
I mean,
who knows when
yeah,
he's
here.
back.
Maybe I can leave him the rest of my jar.
Do not do that.
Maybe just honey.
No. Also, no. What? Stop.
Is there honey that doesn't have crab?
Wait, sorry. Is there a reason? Will no
Yes.
one buy this from us? Is there? A
No, they
reason
haven't
that
tried to
we-
sell it yet. They
Oh,
were
well,
trying to
that's
leave
okay.
Captain Tide
Yeah,
some.
we're on the road to
Just-
do that, but
Got
we
it.
were like, oh, what about Tide? He said it
Right.
was delicious, and then the DM was like, he's not home, and not even
On
on the
board.
continent.
Got it.
And then only olive oil's here, and I'm assuming Brutus in the back. Yeah, I mean, can we just chop off a bit? Can we chop off a pound and put it on ice and give it to them in case he comes back? I don't fucking know.
This is
I don't know if the
horrible
ice
idea.
is for
Let's
that long
just-
either.
Excuse me?
A different crab.
Yes?
This whole place needs refrigeration.
If we want to leave like some of this here, is there a place where we can leave it where it won't go gross?
What is that? Is that
It's
crab
crab
meat?
Yeah.
No, of course not. It would go bad within the day.
Oh.
Well, all right.
Okay. Can you tell him that we tried to come by?
Yeah.
Sure. Who should I tell him tried to come by?
Don't know.
The winner
Cornelia
of the ball game that we played.
The winner of the
Crowbar.
ball game that we
The
played.
Crowball Champions.
Cornelia
Crowball
Co.
Champions Cornelia Co.
Yeah,
Yeah, he'll
I'll
know.
let them know. I'll let them know. And she turns to go and close the door. And as she closes the door, you hear just like a door closes.
Yeah, that message is not getting passed. on.
Nice. She gonna die pretty soon. It sounds like.
I think we might all be infected too. Let's go.
Yeah.
Should we just?
I've
try
never
this
wanted
the
to wash
trouble?
my hands before now.
Yeah, let's try the treble clef, and if that doesn't work, then we'll find some wood in a big pot, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, the treble clef is back in. The treble clef is
Oh.
back in. The treble clef is back in Capital City. It's the perfect
Oh,
fifth,
Perfect.
which is here.
Oh, fucking.
The other musical one?
Yeah, come on. The place where you can earn your pipes.
Yeah.
Pipes.
All right, so you guys head over. You guys kind of walk in, and that first bartender, the one who had been giving you the hundreds of sandwiches, you guys had been kind of on the Edenbound ticket. You see him there, just kind of like setting things up, and you walk in with those crab arms, and he just stops, looks at you, and shakes his head a little bit, just ever so slightly. Of course. What is this?
Someone else want to take the lead on this one?
Oi, we've got crabs.
If there wasn't such
Episode title.
a very oh gosh, there it is. There's the episode title.
Write it down.
If it wasn't such a visual reminder of what you were saying, I would take that very differently. The way you said it.
Yes. You want to buy any? We hear it's delicious, of real fine quality.
This is humongous. What kind of crab is this?
It's
Is
the
this rock
Black
spine?
tiny one. Yeah, that one you was
He
always
kind of
talking
walks
about.
over and checks it out. Smells it a little bit. Yeah, it's still serviceable.
That's what we like to say about our
How
meat.
much are you selling this for?
What would you like to offer?
3 gold a pound.
3
Ten.
gold a pound.
1,000 gold.
Shellless.
Well, it's got shell on it still, obviously.
Well, the 3 gold a pound. Is it shellless or shelled?
I mean, does anyone de-shell their claws before they're going to eat them? Before you weigh them? No. You go to the fish market. You know, they're still in the
Good
claw.
3 gold a pound shelled? That's a little steep. I'll pay you 1 gold a pound shelled.
5 gold a
Collector meat.
pound. offer.
I'm going to assume.
Can I take her honey or their honey jar and just like hold it in front of them? Trying to distract.
I just take the honey.
5 gold. Thank you. That was really
were
nice
you
not
the
to use
one?
both hands.
You the one that took all of our honey.
Well, but
You gave it to her, and then
Well, yes, we sold it. I was just wondering. No
Look.
plus. We're here to sell food and goods, so we did. I just
well,
see
have
that.
you ever been able to tell clacker meat before?
Clacker meat? No. Clacker
Well, that's what this
addies.
is.
no,
This is clacker.
Isn't this clacker?
no.
Didn't we end up taking some of the
Clacker!
shit
Yeah,
from
we
the clacker?
killed one of them, but this isn't them. This is the spine.
Wait, you
Thing.
guys killed a clacker?
Yeah, with our hands.
Oh, okay. Yes. And I'm 6'5".
Well, you're a very short 6'5".
Yes. I assume this is a joke of sorts.
No.
No fucking joke, friend.
You killed a clacker.
Yeah.
Yep.
One
What
of
did
our
it look
friends is
like?
in the hospital right now. That clown's got a broken leg.
I like
He's
just
missing a
I just
finger.
like lift my leg up.
Ta-da!
The clacker did that.
Ow!
Interesting.
Cornelia, do an illusion. Show what he looked like.
Show them what I look like. Oh, the
No,
clacker.
No, the
clacker.
clacker. Good God, Cornelia.
Cornelia still can't hear you guys. Leave her alone.
I like it all big.
I survived.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
show him.
the guy,
Show
I mean, I
him
can show
what
it fine.
it looked
you
like.
show him an
That's
illusion of the clacker, and he looks. No, that can't be a clacker. A clacker's hundreds of feet tall, huge shell, like a giant rock spine.
Yeah.
Multiple.
Yeah.
Multiple rock spines.
No way. What is this? This thing looks like a squid, not a crab.
Yeah, but just imagine it lots bigger. With lots of crabs all over its body.
Yeah, like a
you've got
crab and a squid fell in love.
Listen, we don't need you to believe us on this. Will you just buy the crab meat?
Well, the clacker meat.
Well,
For 2 gold
Well-
a pound.
It's like a crab meat.
The meat, there's a lot of meat in there. Whether there's a lot
It's
of
really good.
shell,
You want to try some?
hard.
I
2
like
gold.
hand
2
my
gold a
jar of
pound.
meat.
No, please, no. That is. Oh, what did you do to that? You ruined it. That's disgusting.
And I
Pretty
reach out
good.
and shake his hand.
Yeah, I say we take.
All right, shakes his hand.
the-
He goes back and weighs it and comes back with a sack of gold coins. It looks like. He says, 118 gold chips. Sound good?
As long as
Mm.
the chip's a coin, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was about 60 pounds.
118. Cornelia, does this feel about right? And I just like
Corneal.
Cornelia.
Hey,
Yeah,
Neil.
and I
New
put it in my
nickname.
backpack.
No.
All right.
are you gonna
well,
learn,
I
man?
guess rock spine addies are on the menu tonight, and everyone in there is kind of like, "Oh, rock spine! Haven't had that since last summer." And everyone's kind of like has a little tale about rock spine. People get pretty excited when you see like
Does-
he
does it
goes
sound
into
like
the
we
back.
got-
It sounds like
we
he
got
might be like
shafted on the
setting
price?
an event.
How much
Yeah,
is he
you have no
selling
idea.
for? Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't done anything yet.
Yeah, we should have just opened up one of those like bodegas. We should have just done it.
Yeah, but we would need
get the whole
wood
adventuring thing.
to start the
But
fire.
yeah, you'd probably have to
and-
start. I mean, but you know
Yeah.
that to open up a shop too and to trade, you'd probably have to start. You know, you'd have to get under a guild charter. There's a whole thing.
Fly by night, all right? We do
Just
it on
rules.
a cart. We don't stop. We're a food truck. We don't stop moving. They can't catch us.
Oh my gosh.
On our
Yeah, you
boat.
don't. I mean, you don't
Too
know.
late.
You don't
Gonna
know.
need a bigger boat.
I mean, you do know that 118 gold is a fabulous amount of money
Princely sum.
for. I mean, at least
Almost
in regards
1/10
to
of what we need. Yeah.
in regards to capital city, it's some people's that's like a year's wages.
Well, divided by
And then
all
that
of
was
us.
all we had, right? So we're good with that. On to the next.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, you
about
offload.
19 per person, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah.
Not counting fits. No offense.
assuming Cornelia actually.
I
Should.
Not
get
counting
it.
fits. Are you kidding?
That
You
was
owe us for the guild entry still.
not counting Fitz.
Oh, okay. Fitz looks a little hurt. I don't need your peasant money.
I mean,
But
money.
very clearly hurt. You like, clearly he's just like,
Oh.
guys,
Are we
I
passing it out?
I
in front
fought,
of him?
I fought with the
Okay.
clacker too. No, he seems...
It's
I
seems
can I
determined.
hand him a gold? I want to
person-
walk over to him and just like tuck a gold in his pocket and walk away without saying anything.
And you
How many
see,
did we
it's
get?
like, he's fighting that 119.
No. Divided up without Fitz. How many did we?
divided without Fitz, it was 19. Divided up with Fitz, it's
Or 19.
16.8. So yeah.
Okay.
So we each
And
get
you see,
19?
you put a coin in Fitz's pocket, and Fitz has this internal struggle of like his ego that he just declared he didn't want your money, but it's money, and he just loves money so much that you put the coin in his pocket, and he just looks at you, and there's a moment of I don't want your peasant money, but I do want this money.
I found a way
it's
to be nice to him and still torture him. Solid.
Fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll walk up to him too and just put 10 in his hand. It's singular hand. Hey, kid.
Okay.
You keep acting like
No,
you didn't
no,
gonna die,
no.
but that
you
was.
keep this, Dresden. I'm working on myself, trying to dispatch my worldly ties.
Yeah, shut the hell up.
Edenbow
take
and I
it.
had this
You
long
earned it.
conversation about spirituality and existentialism. I don't quite understand it. It is a higher learning topic, one I will discuss with him when we next meet.
Right, I'm gonna drop it on the ground unless you take it. So.
Oh my god,
you
why
earned
would you
it.
drop this? He grabs it all, just like shoves it in his pocket. How dare you? What are you, a savage throwing money on the
Yeah.
ground?
Look, you jumped into the ocean like a moron, but it was pretty heroic, so you earned it.
Well, any of you would have done the same for me.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
you say
would.
that. You say that, but I know you would, Dresden. Little Drezzy over there. Ha ha.
Little
And
Dresden.
you see he like tries it out, kind of looks at you expectantly. It's just like, does it work? Does it not work? Am I in trouble? Is it funny?
Yeah, and
Like,
I just
you give
look
him
at him.
nothing. Yeah, and he's just, you see his mind. Like, anything, please give me anything.
I like it.
Yeah, and you guys are just, you guys are free to do whatever you'd like to do. 118 gold richer.
All right, now what?
And we're just still
We have to
hanging
do
out.
something for the mages, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mages? Anyone?
Yeah, Magus.
Magus?
Should we
Yeah.
get him this heart so he's not carrying it around?
I guess we can drop that off.
That's not a
One
terrible
of the
idea.
3 things.
Two birds with one stone, or do we hold on to it
But-
until it's
Yeah. I think we should.
So we have
hold
all
on to
3. Because if we only make it through with 2, then what's,
it. Yeah.
Then he
Hmm.
benefits while we're dead. I don't like that.
Does it go bad?
I smell it.
And again, it was
Yeah.
that like it was almost like a hard pearl. It was weird. You can tell it's encased in something that's probably like a really thick, tough membrane, but it's organic in nature, but it's strange. It's nothing like you've ever seen before. But
I think it's
you don't
fine.
know if it
Tupperware
might
the
go
sea.
bad. Yeah.
At any rate, I think we head there, no?
That's a pretty good idea. I gotta grab a couple things in town before we head out.
Yeah, I want to pick up this book
Probably on the way.
I've been
Oh.
eyeballing.
I found something that maybe we should look at.
Oh, I found something too.
In the middle of
Yeah.
a bar, or
No,
is there a booth?
Silver. Maybe we're not around other people. Probably.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys kind of leave the perfect fifth. The man, you guys kind of throw those claws into the into the floor, and immediately a chef in the back comes, and they start really excitedly chit chatting back and forth.
Les poissons, les poissons,
Yeah.
hee hee hee.
Exactly. And you guys kind of tuck around a corner.
Yup.
You guys tuck around
Oh,
the side of
always back
the shop, and there's not as many people around here. You find like a
Yeah.
more secluded area.
Great.
Cool. I'm
sort
gonna.
of just take my cloak and kind of lean up against the wall, make a curtain-ish sort of thing. What do you got? What do you got?
That's not suspicious looking in the least.
Well, I mean, I can hold this up too, and I just hold the Herniax above my head. I don't think anyone's gonna bother us. What do you like the count of conspicuousness? No, come on.
I take out the little chest book-sized chest thing out of my bag.
Oh, that you pulled out from the
That I found when we went onto shore.
Yes.
Was it a box?
It was like a little chest that was in the shape of a book.
Oh, horde number 1, maybe.
Book box.
You were with her, I think.
I had a lot going on.
Okay. Sorry, I had this table up and then I
You good?
Closed it.
I mean,
Closed it.
yeah.
like a freaking moron.
Screw you, guy. You're the worstest.
Worst.
Okay.
The mostest,
you
worstest.
You open up this chest and there's a ring inside of it, and this ring is carved intricately out of what looks to be some kind of steel or iron of some sort, polished. This whole entire chest is just one ring on a bed, a pillowed bed of what looks like feathers, nicely placed. And when you look at it, there's almost shields, crests on the outside of it, and there's runes. There's a different rune on each shield.
It looks dangerous as hell.
And it kind of shimmers in the light in a weird way. It's got almost like a light yellow sheen to it, like there's a film almost on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it on.
No.
Okay, you put it on, and
Having
immediately
seen what we've seen,
you put it on, and it.
Pup hasn't seen magical items like this. Pup has seen creatures. Pup has seen a lot. Pup hasn't seen stuff like this.
It's
You've
interesting. You
seen
put this ring
Camden
on.
dying
Camden!
over and over and
You
over.
put this ring on,
Yeah.
and there was
I
little
don't think Pup
spaces
knows
in
that.
between the different shields and crests on it, and all those shields go chink and close in as if they're making almost like a phalanx around your finger. And it is effectively a ring of protection, as said in the PHB.
Curiously opens PHB.
That's good for Pup.
Equipment. Manage equipment. Add items.
Okay, it gives you a +1 AC, and it gives you +1 to all your saving throws.
Ring of protection.
God.
So how does it feel?
Bobby's like, no! Don't put
Wait,
it on your
sorry,
finger.
sorry. Again.
You're
So
giving
plus
Bobby
one bonus
AC?
to AC and
+1
saving
to
throws.
all saving throws, yeah.
Let's go.
And can I look? Oh,
How does it look?
It looks fetching.
What does
Yeah,
it do?
I don't know. I kind of just feel good.
Oh, it's a ring of goodness.
Yeah. Punch me. Watch this.
I punch her.
Oh, you.
I mean,
Cornelia, roll an attack.
Just jump in the air.
I'm gonna get all
nowhere.
Roll an attack, add your strength. Roll a d20 and add your strength, I guess.
Oh well. Damn it. 9.
9.
It's a good thing.
You go to punch, and you're not super proficient at hand-to-hand combat, and you go to hit Pup, and you manage to hit them. They're not moving, but yeah, Pup just kind of like, and it's instinctual, Pup. Like, she goes to punch you, and you're just like, like it grazes you because you just like move out of the way. So you punch basically a fur.
Wow. You're good. That was good.
Right? It's a good ring. Yes. Good.
Let's see what I have.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull out the waterproof thingy that Seafloor had.
You pull it out, and you pull it out and you open it up, and inside is a journal, a book, which you assume Seafloor had gone in, and it's bound in some kind of leathered flesh, not normal flesh. On closer inspection, Kelwise and Dresden, you guys being kind of more used to this kind of stuff, you notice it's probably the flesh of some kind of sentient being or allied being, whether it be gnome, halfling, human, elf, dwarf, you don't know, but it's not like
person flesh.
It's a person flesh in this book. Yeah. And Cornelia, you open it up and you look, and it just seems to be gibberish written on all these pages in this ink, in this reddish ink. And as you turn it, it's just gibberish and gibberish. And you've seen something like this before. You remember in the bourgeois cave, Rezik had found a journal covered in these similar runes written in a language you don't understand. And it was just page and page and page and page with a little prologue to it. Something about dangers and going all the way, and how people generally, yes, but it was more on the thing that like people are too scared of power, and therefore they shy away from it, and they're all weaklings because of it. And so this book just has all these different runes and very arcane looking scripture. It's pages and pages and pages in this book. It doesn't make any sense, and it's not in a language you've ever seen before.
And it
It's
seems
similar to the book that Rezik had found, like very similar.
Bound in people flesh, so one, maybe don't read too much of that.
I can't
And you remember
read.
he had said it was book, it was 1 of 4.
Right. All
So,
right.
maybe one.
Maybe put that one deep in the old.
And
bag.
none of us recognizes the language.
The language is completely foreign.
I'm illiterate.
Oh,
All right, I'm gonna put it back in the waterproof pouch that it was in, and keep
Okay.
it safe, and put it back in my backpack at the very, very bottom.
All right. The very, very bottom. Right next to all of the crab meat coins.
And then also the anchor necklace.
Yeah, there's a necklace carved out of like an ivory almost in the shape of an anchor. You see it, and you can't tell. I mean, there's nothing necessarily. It looks surprisingly well carved, almost to the point where you're like, this looks like a real anchor. To the point where you're like looking at it, it almost looks like they carved rust into the ivory itself. It looks like a real anchor. Unbelievable amounts of fine detail on this thing, just hooked onto a necklace.
And Rezik told you it was magical, had like an abjuration spell on it, so some kind of like protection spell probably.
Should I try this on, guys?
Huh.
It goes with your tattoo, though.
Yeah. Try it on. Does anyone else want to try this on? And I take it off, and I like.
can you take it? Does it
Yeah,
come
and
out?
you-
All
and you-
of
when
us
you-
sort of look-
And Pup, when you go to take this ring off, your intention to pull it off, like right before you grab it, you notice all the shields, kink, like a transformer, just unravel,
That's
and
so
it loosens
frickin'
from your
sick.
finger.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
Yeah, wow.
Transformers ring.
Autobots.
I don't know.
Autobots.
Maybe just try it on.
Decepticons. Go.
All right, let me just put. If anything bad happens, I'll try the anchor one on first. I'll put that on.
So you put the anchor on. Nothing seems to happen. It seems just like a necklace. You don't feel anything really.
All right.
You okay?
Right.
Yeah.
You feel like you're dying over and over and over again?
Do you feel weighed down by all of life's responsibilities?
I feel nothing.
Do you want one of us to try and hit you?
Dresden's like, give me that. Give it to me. Give it to me.
Maybe
Wait.
if Rezik was here, but
But you were trying to
nihilism
it's only
charm?
fair.
all right, do it.
Yeah.
Are you gonna punch as hard as you
Oh,
can?
bopper. No, I'm a lightly bopper. I'm gonna do a nice gentle bop.
Okay.
A non-lethal gentle bop.
Easy on me.
All right. Pup manages to.
I'll be cute.
That thing the thing that there's just a thing that guys do. I don't know why. This is a small anecdote. There's things that guys do, and I always do it to my roommate. Where you're just like play fighting. You're just like, So Pup just starts like fake beating the crap out of Cornelia, and Cornelia's just like, oh god, you could kill me with your fists.
Just
Literally,
like,
I've seen you kill things.
30%, just like.
Yeah. So Cornelia, it doesn't seem like this anchor is inhibiting, nor is it helping you dodge out of the way of the bops coming your way, the fake bops.
I see. All right.
Maybe.
I guess I like put on like my sock and boppers.
Basically, yeah. your hair just goes poof on your wrists. Just like little pom poms punching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I own sock and boppers. Random.
We know.
Fun fact.
We know.
You know.
Of course you do.
I do. I think I brought them out before. Yeah.
It's like being a pilot. It's like, how do you know someone's a pilot? Oh, they'll tell you. It's the same thing with sock and boppers. You own
Well,
sock and boppers.
I think
you're
they were
gonna
like
tell
an
me.
off-brand though, right?
Okay, what are you guys gonna do? What else you got, Cornelia?
Well, I have that other horde.
Horde?
I had given you that other horde, right? Though in Discord.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You can just.
What's a horde?
You can. I think you didn't disperse it though yet, did you? Or
Disperse?
Well, it's just
Or
things.
give out the gold?
Oh, is it actual gold or just worth things?
It was
This is
ED
a
gold.
nebulous term. What the hell do you
Cornelia,
have?
yeah, Cornelia kind of keeps all that in her
Yeah,
in
I
her
mean,
backpack for now.
I'm not giving that out. Are you kidding
Okay.
me?
Did anyone else?
Did anyone else want to try the ring?
I mean, I'm cool.
It
Who's-
looks
who's-
lovely on you.
If it helps
No one else
people,
wants
who's
to
the
try it on?
weakest? I mean,
What?
no offense, but who's the weakest of us all in terms of getting bopped?
That guy. And I point at Fitz.
Oh,
Sir Rezik, yeah.
No, but
Why the guy in the hospital?
Yeah,
Pup,
guy in the
but he's
hospital.
not here right now.
You do seem to
Austin
get into
almost
the
died in
danger.
battle.
Yes.
I like. I know.
You seem to need these.
I think it's great on Pup.
Yeah, I think that
Absolutely.
you should keep it.
She can be our. They can be
What?
our
I'm the
tank.
most reckless one.
be our
No.
tank.
Yeah, that's great. Give it to the one.
Pups
that won't
already
learn
are
any
tank, whether or not they're suited for it.
You're not wrong.
lessons. Sad but true.
I just gotta go in, dude. The self-control is fine.
All
I
right, you gotta hold on to this then.
Yeah.
Pup, with the cape you have, can I just try it on to see if it shrinks?
This is yours. Yeah.
Well, it looks really good on you, so I probably won't keep it. But I'm curious. See if it changes.
God, is it like a
Sizes.
traveling
Not
pants?
gonna lie, I forgot that I had that this whole time. Haven't been counting that for anything. If it does anything, absolutely nothing. Has forgotten everything. Please take this cape.
Doesn't seem to do anything. So.
Wait, is it the cloak?
Yeah, the
cloak.
cloak.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So what was
See-
I supposed to be doing the whole time? Because I also don't remember.
You were
I still
wearing
not
it?
know what to do. Apparently,
I
I
mean, I
forgot.
don't know. Did you guys ever figure out what it did?
I think we
There's a
did.
weird ass voice inside, no?
No,
that was the cape. That was the cape. That was the almost
not the
Dracula-like cape with the big, huge collar. that
That's not
sticks
what we're
up
like,
like
the
this.
most like Doctor
How many
Strange,
fashion
like
accessories
Yeah,
have we
very
found?
Doctor Strange-ish.
No, this
I
is
remember the cape.
this is the cloak from Amara Vasquez's place.
Yeah, it was very
like,
finely-
didn't blend in. It like was
Months
super
Woven,
stealthy.
yeah. It almost made you blend into your environment
the
in an unnatural way.
shadows and
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'm
Although
I'm
Cornelia,
recalling
you
it
put
now.
on this, you put on the
You-
cloak,
are you
and
okay, Cullen?
it doesn't shrink. It's just this long
had
cape
it
with
for
like
months.
almost like a
you okay
train
down
on it.
there?
Dang.
Oh, sorry, bud.
Here you go, pup. Doesn't fit me.
It doesn't shrink.
No.
Doesn't seem to
What
shrink.
does it do?
Who
You
knows?
try it.
And I hand it to. I like shove it into like his.
Try it.
What is it?
I don't know.
Am I gonna get cursed?
No, I wore it.
But she's fine.
Yeah.
But they're
Put it
fine.
on.
My bro like
Okay,
still
you put
broken.
it on, and yeah, it feels just like a cloak. Warm, surprisingly warm. Keeps out the elements very
Like a toilet seat. That
It's
you're
almost like
sitting
a-
down on
trying
and it's like
on the
warm.
cloak or
It-
the
it
ring?
lets-
I'm confused.
The cloak.
He's trying on the cloak.
The cloak.
Oh, okay.
And you look at the designs, and the design in the weave work is very, very fine. Whoever created this looks very, very well put together, and lots of time and precision went into creating this. Something
So
you'd
it's
see
an
maybe
exceptionally warm cloak.
exceptionally well-made cloak that it's also very, very warm. And you remember when Pup put it on, looking at Pup sometimes it was like you'd have to double take. You'd be like, oh crap, like I didn't even see you standing there. Like,
Well, how do I look?
What?
Who said that?
I speak up
yeah.
for the deaf ones.
And it's like when Dresden puts the hood up on the cloak, it's almost as if the lines that define the outline of his body blend just ever so much, as if there's some kind of essence to this that just kind of blends you into whatever you're looking at from any angle.
It's a fucking water cloak. Oh my god.
If you didn't have that giant axe on your back, I'd say you almost blended into the scenery.
Yeah.
No,
Unfortunately.
I just toss
Yeah.
it to the side.
Oh, where'd you go?
How about
I'm
now?
just kidding. You're still.
Oh! You disappeared! Object permanence!
Yeah, and then when I walk, it just sounds like someone's jangling a bunch of rings around, and I take a step in my ring mail. It's like, is it weird?
I mean, there's still the noise, definitely.
Okay.
Does anybody want this? Should I have this? What's happening?
Doesn't
Does this
fit
help anyone? Doesn't fit you?
sneaky
Doesn't fit
people,
no
so
one.
Pup would be Kelwise sneaky,
Yeah.
and then
I'm
maybe
small
it'll
too,
just
though.
boost your
Yeah, it
sneakiness.
wouldn't fit.
Wait,
Yeah, it's a
Do you guys
medium
think that I
size.
can fix it to be small? Do you think it'll still work?
I say let's not
Probably
try.
not.
It looks very nicely made. Maybe let's leave the
Yeah.
tailor.
Hey, I've been making my own clothes for my whole life.
No.
Well, if
Sorry.
it helps, I'm probably the least
I mean,
sneaky of all of us. So
See, I mean,
I
this
don't know if
one's
that's for good or for worse. And those clothes are great, by the way, Pup.
thanks.
A little honey stained, but
A little sticky.
Shh. It's just saving you for later.
smart. Collecting dirt for later, I get it.
Yeah.
Pup, do you want this or
I mean, I'll take it, but I feel I don't want. What if someone else needs it? Or what if maybe we'll give it to Rezik, or maybe we'll give the ring to Rezik, or maybe I'll just hold them both for now, and then maybe we'll give them to other people later. Because I don't want to
Yeah,
take all
hold
this
on to
stuff.
them
Because I
for
feel really
now.
bad
I
taking
think-
all this stuff, and I can't. What
I
about other
think
people
the
need
ring
stuff?
will
I
probably
don't
think
go
it would
to
be
Rezik
really
if he
nice.
survives.
To give it to Rezik, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, save
ring
it as a
definitely
get well
Hold on to it.
soon present.
I'll keep it warm for him.
Okay.
Great.
All right. So yeah,
Is that
you
everything?
guys, yeah, that ring just kind of, and it makes like a little sound as if it's like, almost like two shields smashing together, as it.
You're like, Pup is just gonna like
Physical.
be
Oh,
doing this
Dawn.
for a while.
Yeah, and take it off, put it back on, take it off, and same thing every time. So what are you
And-
guys doing?
And I'll also just take out everything I got minus the gold, the 80 gold or whatever that I found. But I think I also found a
80 gold.
potion. Yeah, that's for us to know, but none of your characters. And then we also have a potion, I believe, or a something potion of something.
Potions.
How much crap did you all collect in there?
And
I think
also
we
a
were
lock.
trying to stay alive.
There's a big cave.
Yes.
Hoard number 2.
Standard. Yeah. What's a standard lock? A lock? Just a lock?
It's just
That's
a lock.
the company
yeah.
that makes it, no?
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a lock and a key. Standard just means like it's not like heavy duty or anything like that. It's just a very basic lock.
Oh, yeah. The potion of protection from arrows. What does 10/magic mean? Questions for us noobs.
Yeah, so it just protects you. It's a potion. You drink it, and you'd assume that it protects you from some amount of arrow damage. which
Nice. There's like
probably
regulations where
roughly
they
10
they write it
roughly
all
10
back
damage,
to
yeah.
the bottle. That's
and
smart.
it might apply to
Safer that way.
really anything that's piercing of the sword.
Dig it.
All right.
All right.
Well,
Cool.
if that's everything. Do we head over to the Magulus?
Only if we want to
Yes.
give him some of this stuff before we head out of town to go and collect his
Yeah,
parcel.
maybe we just go get his parcel.
Yeah, I mean, we could bring
don't
both-
need to talk to him about that. We can just go. Well, then let's
Yeah, I
go.
don't think so.
Yeah,
told us
I
where
think
to
we can
go.
just go.
I
Cool.
want to pick up that book too, but Pup has to pretend to be Rezik. But
Yeah.
say they're Cornelia.
What?
Long story, but
Oh yeah.
It was under your name, so I'm sure you can just pick it up yourself.
yeah, she wrote down Cornelia, but your height and Rezik's physique. Remember?
Oh,
I just like shake into Rezik. Okay, I think we're ready. So we're gonna go
There you
get
go.
the book now.
Yeah, and then let's head out to get the
Wonderful.
parcel and the book. Woohoo!
It's never gonna stop being odd.
Was never gonna stop being odd.
Exactly.
I had one more.
I don't understand what you're talking about. This is how I was
What's up?
born. I understand that other people don't do that. You've
God,
seen
it's
other people
exactly
who do
the
this.
way Rezik would react. I'm freaking out. Let's go. I just double my pace.
Where are you going? Keep it up. Wait, no.
Yep,
You're
yep,
just
double
going too
time.
fast.
Double
Slow
time.
down. My leg hurts.
Where are you guys heading?
Leg.
To
I'm gonna
the
go back to the fucking place with the book.
yeah.
The Magus? Okay, they're still at the forge for now. The elves had kind of taken over the forge, and they had set up a little camp around it.
They met the Crimson Buck. They're going
Yeah.
to get Cornelia's
Yeah,
book
next
get on
to
hold.
that. Don't play coy.
Oh, Cornelia's
Yeah,
book that was on
put
hold.
down a
I'm sorry.
20 gold.
Yeah.
20 gold deposit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I forgot about that too.
So
That's what it
you
was.
guys go back, and there's the woman who was selling the books, and she still has your book on hold.
Yay! Dear magic.
Perfect. I'm here to pick up a book under the name Cornelia.
And she looks and finds the little notation she had in the chest. She had a little vault that she had placed it in. She pulls out the book, and she hands it to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Much
And
appreciated.
yeah, she
Patronage,
waits,
Service, excellent, all of it.
and she kind of waits for the rest of the payment. Doesn't quite let go of the book.
How much is it for the rest?
Well, it
Oh,
was
the
100.
rest. Yes. What? The rest?
Yeah. It's expensive.
What's the rest?
How much?
Do you remember how much it was? I didn't write it down.
That's what I was
Two gold.
Pretty sure that was
Well, it
right.
was like pretty sure it was like 300.
No,
I
it's
want to
not.
say two.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you didn't write it down?
I have
guess
it written
just make
down.
up-
It's called the world in the form. The world
Thank
in the
you.
form of the
Thank
sleight
you,
of
Bobby.
hand, and it's 125 gold, and I paid 20 to have it on hold.
Okay, good,
Ooh,
perfect.
105 gold.
105
on this
gold?
book?
Yeah.
And it's 125 gold. Yeah.
And we owe 105 gold on this book.
We don't. They do. I didn't buy this.
Um,
Royal we, the
So
editorial
you have
we.
the rest of this, right? Because I put the rest forward, and I look at Cornelia.
Yeah. Here you go.
Okay, and
Great,
you pay
because I
105
don't know how to count that high.
and she like counts out the money, looks down, and thank you so much. Come back soon if you'd like any more
Can I
literature.
also buy one of these magic squirrels? One more. And do you
Magic
do
squirrels?
gift wrapping?
Magic squirrel?
Squirrel.
Oh, the grab barrel of
Yeah.
of writings. Sure. They were 10 gold.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
They
you
have,
buy
they have
one.
little tiny wands.
Yeah.
Made out of
You said
they
you
were
pay her
like
10 more
acorn
gold.
caps.
You buy one, and let's see.
Shoot magic at their tails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look at
A
it,
little
and
puffs up.
it's in a script you don't understand. It's
It'd be so
it's
cute.
interesting. This scroll is written just in a language you can't really discern.
Do you do gift wrapping?
Do.
Gift wrapping. No, I'm sorry. I'm afraid not.
Oh, all right.
Sorry.
All right. Let's go.
If you'd like to buy something like a scroll case of sorts, Some people keep writings in a round case. And she pulls out like a leather tube that looks insulated with a cap, like a fur cap on it.
Does it look better than the one we already have? Because we already have
I
it.
don't have one.
We have a scroll tube from Amara's, yeah.
It doesn't look nicer. It's just the same kind of thing.
No, that's all right. Thank you so much.
Okay. So,
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Thank you so much appreciated. And I just keep saying stuff like that. Like as I back away, still holding the. Yes, definitely
Okay.
this.
You're gonna have to
Indeed.
turn around at some point, Rez.
Quite.
All right. Okay. Yeah, you grab the book. She kind of eyes you strangely. I'm pretty happy to have her. The rest of the. I mean, it's a big purchase. So sold a big book. She seems pretty pleased. Doesn't really want to question. Pup too much.
Cornelia, how much gold do you have?
None now.
Not sure I believe you. And so we keep going.
Can I like sniff check Cornelia to see if how much gold? Like, would I know what gold smells like at this point? like how dog am I? Can I?
Cornelia's got a
dog can
lot
even-
of
can
stuff
smell
in,
weight.
in her bag, so it would be tough to like. Yeah, you might be. You can sniff that there's definitely some sort of metal something. The traces of metal are in her bag, but to differentiate how much would be probably impossible.
Oh my gosh, because that's something that I could start practicing.
Smelling weight.
Smelling different like items to see if like someone has a weapon on them or something.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
for sure.
That's pretty sick. I'm gonna start practicing that because that's pretty. Anyway.
One more quick stop while we're out of town for me, if you don't mind. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
Really
Where'd you
fast. I need to get some. Okay, you said the boat needed some holes patched. Sealing wax obviously is for envelopes, but is sealing wax also for boats?
Well, there's like different kinds of resins and stuff they use to seal boats.
Okay.
And you had seen at least some people using resins to like repair boats and stuff on the dock. So there's somebody you could probably find somebody who sells that kind of stuff in the Crimson Buck.
Yeah. What
For
you're
sure.
probably looking for is cock.
I'm not so sure. No, I think resin would work.
I'm pretty sure it's cock.
So yeah, you find you kind of wander around and you find
I don't
somebody
know
who
if they
has
have
these crates with these almost sealed. They look like coconuts. They're these like jars almost filled with some kind of resin and then sealed off on the outside. So looks like you crack one of these things open and the resin's inside and you use it to slowly seal a boat or patch them up. And each of these little,
Please.
yeah. So you grab one and it's about a gold piece for this.
They aren't also selling oars, are they, at the same place?
No oars at this place, but there are places that sell oars for sure.
Oh.
You'd need mountings and such though, if you wanted for this boat. I mean, you could definitely get an oar, but you'd have to carry it around with you, or you'd have to go and drop it off at the coast. These oars are big. Most of the oars are made for human size.
All right,
So
we'll get
you
an
could-
oar later.
You could
then.
definitely buy them, but yeah, right now, since you're heading into the hills, probably.
Not the best.
Yeah.
You think about it, you're like,
We'll get this later. Get this later. It's too much to carry. The crab meat was heavy. My back hurts.
Mhm.
We'll leave the oars for later. But I'm glad to know that there's oars available.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Otherwise,
Or
I was going to buy a
Brad told
hatchet
you how heavy it was.
and cut one thing. Yes. Anyone else?
Well, let's go.
Great, let's go.
Oh, perfect.
So where are you headed?
No
Pick
clue.
up that package, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
to
Wherever that- where's that package?
Windspire Outpost. So I guess let's ask around where that is. Anyone? Anyone know?
Is there like a general store type shop where we could like buy a map of the area?
Oh, map. That's a great idea.
There is a cartography desk that has maps that you could just look at if you'd like. There's a big map in the Crimson Buck. There's a store that sells a bunch of. It's got just under this big piece of glass. There's a round table and it's got a huge map on it, and you see that you start looking around, and Mount Bighorn, the Bighorn Mountain Range, is about 100 miles east-west, directly south of Odgarad, and right in the middle of these huge hills is Windspire Outpost.
Classic. All right.
100 miles, you say?
It's not 100 miles away. I'm saying the mountain range is 100 miles.
Oh, okay.
Windspire is just south, but it's like directly in the thick of those giant hills that are behind
We're gonna have
Odgarad.
to go up and over them to get
Mhm.
there.
Yeah, it
situation.
doesn't look like there's a sea access or anything like that.
Right. So maybe some climbing gear in case things get dicey.
Yeah, if we have to go to those mountains, I'm gonna need some more rope and some pitons.
And
I don't
as
think
you
we're
guys
ever gonna need more rope.
as you guys are talking about that and looking at it, a man approaches you with a human man with a halfling, and this man has got like this really nice mustache and kind of olive skin and light blue eyes, and wearing like these almost silk robes, finely dressed, and he approaches you. Oh, Windspire Isle? You guys going to the outpost?
We're thinking about it. Why?
Well, I was heading up that way, looking for someone to help guard me from dangers. I could hire your group. Looking by this axe, you seem to know how to handle yourself.
Yeah, we good at fighting. We could protect you. What you think, gang?
I could pay you. It is a 2-day trek through the mountains. I could pay you 5 gold each to accompany me.
5
It's on the
gold.
way.
2-day trek? 2 days? That's got to be at least 10 gold
What
ahead
about-
each.
5 a day.
10 gold. Well, that is much higher than 5 gold is a very gracious payment.
Depends on what you want to be protected from.
What? Wait, Kelwise, 1 second, please. What? How well do you know these mountains?
I have been many times.
So we protect you, you get us through it, and then we don't get lost and die. I think that's a fair payment. Sorry, Killwise.
Look, I've been a merchant for
Trust
many,
like I'm
many
gonna
years.
pay for that later.
5 gold is more than enough, especially since I will be providing the primer hoofs to move through the mountains. It will save us lots of time.
Oh,
I like that.
works for me.
You are aware of the primer hoof. You are looking very
Am I aware?
mystified. I don't think so. This is
It's
a
a different campaign.
yeah.
Can't say we know what that is.
Sounds like some animal.
Yes.
Primer hoof.
Primer hoof is big fat goat. We will say like a goat. Very different, but like a goat. Please. Oh, and my assistant here.
How's it going?
Oh,
Hello.
Hi
hello.
there.
Is the assistant the halfling?
Yeah.
What's your name?
The name's Barry Goodbuns. Because I have some fantastic buns, obviously. No, just kidding. My family were bikers. Just playing with you.
Oh,
Not bakers, you said.
Yes, he is.
were
He's
bikers.
assisting
Yeah,
me.
bikers.
We need to take this cargo. We are going to Windspire to trade, and
Good
we
fun?
will take you there. You can do your business, and should you like to return, you can accompany me back as well. I will
Very good.
appreciate the company as well.
Sure.
The mountains, you guys are okay trekking though. It is very strenuous on the legs.
Well,
mostly
we're
the-
gonna need climbing gear.
Well, you need very strong feet. Unfortunately, you will not be able to use shoes because of the way the
What?
primer hoof saliva works.
So
It will all make sense in time. You will see.
is it sticky? We're gonna be
The
sticky,
primer.
sticky feet.
The primer hoof is a special animal. It has saliva, help you climb into the mountains. It is a very
Fine,
special
I
animal,
mean-
only found in this area. The Nearly Hills
The ha-
and Mount Bighorn.
Halflings like us should be fine though. We have strong feet.
Oh, I'm not worried about me necessarily.
Oh no.
We're talking about scent.
Well, she's got tiny toes. Is that gonna be a problem?
No, should not be a problem.
Gonna fit in the crevices better.
Well, I don't know if you are ready, but we were planning to take off here soon. Is
I
there
mean,
anything else?
I really like climbing.
But how's your leg feeling?
Oh. I really like climbing.
I'm gonna pick up.
I like had turned back into.
Okay,
And
yeah.
like
you
in the
pick up
middle of this
some-
conversation, I just turned back into pup.
Yeah, as they're
Whoa.
doing
Bored.
this, you turn back into pup,
Yeah.
and the
That's
merchant.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that is a very neat trick.
And I turn into the merchant. Well, thank you very much.
Holy oh, wait.
Wow.
How'd you do that?
Outfit is
kinda-
right. Good buns. We may have to keep make a password for this one. They are very sneaky. I like it. Very
Sneaky.
interesting.
Oh, she
What's-
is sneaky.
I don't know what the password is. Can you tell me what that means?
The password.
Oh.
Well, if I told you the password, it would not be very useful, would it?
I don't know what any of this means. I'm very confused.
Well, we
Oh.
have 2 days to get to know
thing.
each other and talk on the road, and 2 more if you come back with me. So,
Perfect.
yes, good buns. I do think it is
I'm very
quite,
excited to learn about all these
quite
things.
interesting, huh? No,
They could be very useful. This is
Yes.
incredible.
they are very interesting. I have never seen someone with the abilities such as yourself,
Back in
and
the pub.
I have traveled the whole world. I have been a merchant trader for nearly 30 years. I have been to every port on Soteria continent. At least every port worth seeing. Truly a marvel. Well, we will be waiting near the south end of town. If you would like to meet us there when you're prepared.
Zartok, don't be rude, by the way. What are your all names? Didn't even ask
Oh,
them.
yes, well, I figure we have time for that on the road, no?
Ah, true.
Can I do a perception check on this guy? I want to see
Mm-hmm.
how much he really seems to know.
Yeah, roll a perception.
She knows about goats with
Maybe
sticky
perception or
saliva.
insight?
Yeah, which one would it be? Perception, right?
Yeah, perception. Unless you're trying to, like, glean some kind of hidden meaning to his words.
No, I'm more like assessing whether or not he seems like a trustworthy and roadworthy person.
Yeah,
And
roll a
that's 70.
perception. Roll it. Yeah. Okay, so you look at him, his hand, despite his nice, fine clothing, his hands do seem weathered. He does seem like he has a little bit of, his skin isn't, like, clean. There's scars and nicks and stuff. You see a very well-traveled... You remember from your nomadic tribe who traveled all around. He's got almost that air to him. Somebody who hasn't lived a life of luxury. Not like Fitz. Even though Fitz, despite what happened to him, Fitz just doesn't look nearly as road-worn as this guy. And despite his nice clothes, they are practical. They look nice, but they're practical clothing. It's nothing ostentatious.
Yeah, and it's the same with Barry. He's got very like kind of travel gear, travel clothes, like a rugged leather jacket. He's got like kind of like longish hair with like a pretty like sturdy looking beard. He's like a handsome looking halfling with no shoes, just like he has hairy feet. And there's big hairy feet.
About how old are each of these two gentlemen?
30s.
Yeah. Zaratoch looks to be maybe late 40s. I never said his name. He introduces himself. I am Zaratoch. We'll be waiting for you at the south end.
Looking forward to
Good,
it.
Doc.
Well, we'll see you
And
there.
then
These
they,
guys.
Yeah, and they head off.
Yeah. With the prospect of having my feet licked by some sort of goat, I get about 200 feet of rope and 10 pitons.
Okay. Is this flammable rope or
Very flammable.
flame
Hempen,
resistant?
Very
rope?
flammable rope.
Okay.
I've still got
Because there's a premium, for flame
Yeah.
retardant.
Unflammable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
soaked in oil rope. Yeah.
Soaked in oil, kerosene rope. All right. So where are you
Yeah,
guys headed now?
Was I able to collect the old rope, or did that remain?
No, you guys
in the
had kind of just thrown it over, and then in your mad dash to get out. Well, I guess you guys did have some time. Well, no, because Rezik was dying, so you guys kind of packed
Yeah,
up
no,
and
we split.
split.
Cool. 400 feet of hempen rope.
Okay. You get some rope. You collect your stuff. Anything else you want to get from the Crimson Buck before you go?
I'm good.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys still walk out of that.
Torches?
Yeah, you can get all that stuff. Just grab all the stuff you need. Just
Okay, great.
all that mundane stuff you can
Yeah,
get.
yeah. I'll buy one for every one of us in a couple. So
Okay. So yeah, you
Everyone
guys
has
just buy some stuff for the road. You guys leave the Crimson Buck, which was that giant man-o-war 3-tiered ship that had been retrofitted into a trading square with the giant red banners and the huge masthead that was in the shape of a giant buck. And you guys head south, not too far down, near you find near the All Rock mines, there's that big mine entrance that they had talked about with the divers who ran down for ore runs, talking about the crud pushers, the insectoid creatures that constantly are digging out this, and they just throw all the ore and extra stuff away while digging these really intricate tunnels, and these divers had run in, and you see groups of people, pretty lightweight, nobody in big armor, maybe some leather armors and stuff, kind of getting ready, packing up torches, big, huge, like thick wooden framed backpacks, ready to just go in, and you see them wearing these thick-soled shoes as well, getting ready to go, and it looks like the whole group looks like they're ready to move fast at a moment's notice. Torches set, a few things, and they kind of pack up, and then they start walking into the mines. Just to the east of that, you notice there's this. It's not quite a pathway. It's overgrown, but you see it, and it looks like there's this huge hill, and there's this set of switchbacks, very, very steep switchbacks, and that just kind of go into the mountain made of stone. And on first glance, you'd be like, "That's not where anyone would climb up." It's almost like a 45-degree angle. But you notice Zartok and Good Buns standing outside, and they have a thin cart that has a whole bunch of little crates kind of stacked on top of each other and then tied down. And you see these two medium-sized animals. These are quadrupedal animals, and they are just so fat. They're just these super heavily rotund. Their bellies almost touch the ground, and their heads, like their neck is just like into their head because they're just so fat. And you see they have huge tongues that just hang into the ground, just dragging against the dirt below them, and these pretty big horns, almost like ram horns. Not quite that big, but pretty big horns. And they just kind of and they look around, and when you look at them and they kind of turn to look at you, their tongue just against the pavement. Their eyes almost focus on you, but not quite. It's just a little off. And Zartok sees you walking up and hails you. "Hello, friends. Have you gotten everything you need?"
only one way to find out.
"Well, shall we commence then? Good Buns, you ready to go?"
Yeah, sure thing. And I'm just kind of like petting one of the goats. It's a good boy, Bubbles. And you just see like one of the nostrils has just like a big bubble that kind of just like puffs out once in a while and then like goes back in, and then and I was petting, kind of feeding them like berries that are just being mashed and like just gnawed on by the goat.
And you see Zartok start to pull off of his shoes. "Please, you will need to remove your shoes. This does not work through the soles of such." He pulls off of his shoes and he like tucks them away on a belt, side of his belt. And he pulls out a jar of what looks like this dark blue substance, and he pops the lid, and you get a whiff of like blueberry-ish, raspberry, maybe a mixture. It almost looks like jam. He takes it and he rubs the jam on the bottom of one of his feet and holds it up, and the primer hoof just looks at it immediately and just really getting in between the toes, seems to just love this stuff. And then he kind of shakes his foot and a little bit of that saliva. It's weird. These guys, they emit maybe 2 or 3 times the amount of saliva that you'd think a living being could, but just like and you're like, they must be absorbing moisture from the air at all times because of the amount of just moisture they're expelling. And he goes and he does the same thing with his other foot, and then tests his footing on the wall, and you see he starts to climb this wall with some almost an ease. It's not quite like walking, but it seems that he's just got this really solid footing. For the rest of you. And so he goes and each of you in turn, he just slathers this jam on the bottom of your feet, and the primer hoof each time just super excited. The second you put the jam on the foot, just like eyes just straight over to you and just
Yeah, prepare yourself, it will tickle.
Yeah, I'm super ticklish.
And yeah, the primer hoof for you, Cornelia, almost engulfs your entire foot in its mouth, just like very soft, very gentle, taking care not to like bite you in any way. And you see that they have like flat teeth of an herbivore, so you're not really in any danger of getting your foot bitten off in confusion, but each of you gets your feet licked, and when you go and try it, this
Not
you
a
feel this
spectacle.
mucusy saliva solidify and dry very, very quickly, and it almost coats your feet, and your feet feel almost soggy in a way, even after it dries. But you go to the mountain, and it's almost as if you have these suction cups to the stone now, where you can just easily use any part of your foot to climb up this steep cove or incline. Well,
Hey.
shall we be off?
How long does this last for?
Oh, the better part of a day.
This
We
feels
will need
weird.
to camp and
We need-
reapply. Come sun up tomorrow.
We need to jar this stuff.
Oh, I have many. You really use anything sweet. They just like the sugars, you know? You can use honey. You can use... Yes. But be careful. If you show them any amount of this stuff, they will be compelled to eat it. So, if you'd like
So
to lose
don't
it...
show
you
them this many jars of honey.
I would not even talk about it in front of them. It is a little bit of a superstition, but these things are very single-minded.
I cover Bubbles' ears.
Yeah.
It's okay, darling.
It's, they look docile and very simple now. But it's that simple precision for sweet goods that drives them. They are stronger than they look.
Same.
Just trust me on that.
Right? It's like, oh, that'll be a mood though.
And with that, he kind of, and the primer hoofs still dragging their tongues along the ground, start pulling his cart, and they start going up this incline. And the primer hoofs again with ease. It's almost like their feet constantly walking through their own saliva everywhere they go because it's dragging along the ground have also been coated in this stuff and just start climbing up the
Gross.
walls. And you see that he's layered something on the edges. Like it seems like he has taken the wood and put in scraps of what looks like leathered something on the wheels, and has had them lick those previous to you guys coming. So even the wheels themselves are coated in this stuff. Just primer hoof saliva everywhere as you start to
Beyond gross.
climb up these
Yummy.
and the switchbacks surprisingly don't seem that tough to climb, though you do start to feel a little bit, you're like, this is gonna burn. My quads, They're gonna get a workout. And you start winding into the hills higher and higher and higher. And these switchbacks are so steep that at some point you're maybe 200 feet above Odgarad, and you look out and you're almost reaching the lower level of the marine layer of clouds and such that roll in the mornings, which is gone now, but will roll in, and you can see just that vast ocean. You see the huge strip of Grimdraw Strait as it winds through these mountains, disconnecting the north and south ends. And you also see all of Odgarad, those 3 landing houses, all very similarly built, almost mirrors of each other. 3 different, one green, one red, one blue, all on the eastern side, the western side of Odgarad. And those giant fields. Pup, you notice huge fields on the north end of Oatwheat. Just huge fields of it, towers, and a whole row of multicolored painted windmills. There's maybe 40 windmills along the coast of Odgarad on the north end that you can't really see while sailing into the city. And there's just these huge, and they're painted all these different bright, vivid colors. It's gorgeous, it's beautiful. And you guys kind of wind up around a peak and then back down over the other side, and the city kind of disappears over a bank. And you find miles and miles of huge peaks, green peaks filled with trees and all kinds of stuff. Some places, in a lot of the valleys of these peaks, you notice the tree cover, the canopies, very, very thick, almost like a whole nother world in between each mountain. And the peaks rise up, still with trees, but a little cleaner. And you see hundreds of those flying Momo-like creatures just jutting around, birds everywhere. You see a little bit of wildlife, some stray primer hoofs just standing on impossibly steep cliffs, just kind of standing there, looking around, tongue just hanging out. All kinds of different wildlife.
So many bleps.
If Pup sees Oatwheat, Pup is running into Oatwheat.
Oh, the Oatwheat is on the north end, on the other side of Odgarad, completely the other side. The north end of the city, you see these fields of Oatwheat. Not within, it's across that long bridge. If we look at Odgarad.
Yeah.
If we look at Odgarad, you had all kind of headed, oh my gosh. You had headed south right around here. There was just like this random pathway that looked not well traveled. It just kind of went up into the mountains, and then you see across this big bridge and the Gulland Fields, which is this huge. It's all kinds of different crops, but you notice just huge golden oat wheat sheets along the coast, and then you have these windmills all along this upper coast right here. But you had headed this way into the mountains, and then headed straight up and then across down south, which would this way is south on this map. North is that bridge technically heads north south. In hindsight, I should have flipped the map. I didn't, because I have this small brain.
Okay.
Yes, so that's
You're
what you
doing
guys
great.
see, and as you head into these forests, you notice you're not in Capital City anymore. You're not at home. You're in a place that none of you have ever seen. None of you are really used to. None of you have ever maybe even thought you'd see. And as Zartok expertly weaves this cart around, there's an ease to it. You've seen he's done this 1,000 times before. These primer hoofs know the drill. Everyone knows the drill. You have good buns happily just walking by the cart, making sure everything is working well. And that is where we're going to go on our first break.
All right.
We're going to give away... Hey everyone, we're back. Elias and Hojin, you are our winners this week. So, send me a whisper if you want some stickers and a handwritten note. I mean,
Congrats,
it's up
guys.
to you. But meanwhile, we were just trudging through the forests of Mount Bighorn, the giant peaks and trees
Valleys?
and valleys and stone. Kelwise, you had said something about testing out your feet.
Yeah, so as I was walking, since this is the first time we've like been around trees in a minute, you know, I went, oh, trees. Can I stick my foot to a tree too? So
you start testing out this viscous saliva mucousy mix that is now in between your toes and just squishes ever so slightly every time you take a step. It seems like it really sticks well to stone. Like, and even the dirt that has stone sticks to your feet really well, but you touch it to other things like trees and leaves and such, and it doesn't seem to have the same effect. This seems to really only work on stone surfaces.
Well, there goes my dream of walking straight up a tree.
And again, you can't quite walk straight up stone. If it was a completely vertical surface, you'd still like, it would be nearly impossible. It would maybe help you, but it doesn't completely like lock you in. It just aids in a very, very helpful way. You'd still slide a little, ever so slightly. You know, you put your foot onto a vertical wall and it still slides down it. It's just like Velcro sliding, ripping Velcro down a slide of the side of a wall.
It's pretty fun, eh?
Yeah. I mean, this is pretty cool.
Well, we're used to sturdy feet. We're used to sturdy feet, but not sticky feet. So this is pretty different, huh?
Yeah, I've got to say it's a first. What?
Oh wait, you're not a good buns, are you?
I'm not a good buns. I'm a wander gaze. We're from a different place.
Yeah, I've never heard of wander gaze. Huh? Interesting.
Yeah, we're kind of a small group. Never heard of a good buns either.
Well, either way, you're a handsome lad. Well, like all halflings, really.
Yeah, that's a true statement. Thank you. Appreciate it. You too. Right back at you.
Oh, of course. And I know.
Papa's just licking their feet to see if there's any jelly left.
Oh my gosh.
It seems like there's nothing left, and you do have that coating of saliva on your feet that kind of almost blocks your tongue from getting to your feet itself.
Got it.
And there's almost like the ever so slightly bitter taste to the primer hoof saliva.
Cool. Yep, that's it.
I need a second. Just hold on. Okay, that's just such a gross image. Pup, you're disgusting. You successfully grossed me out. So you guys start wandering, and you're going down into this big ravine. Zartach kind of looks at you all and pulls out a flask. Not a big flask, but a sturdy, nice-looking flask. Takes a small sip, offers to you all. This is some Dwarven fire whiskey.
Take some.
All right, just be careful. It is very strong.
I reach for a sip.
Okay, yeah, and it's very, very strong. When he says very strong, he maybe undersold it a little bit. Trust, you've maybe had some of this at the Trouble Clef when you were working there. People trying to buy you drinks that maybe stronger than they intended them to be. In Dresden, you've probably had some of this too on a hard job when you're like, I need to, like, this is the kind of drink when you're like, I need to be brain dead for the next 24 hours. Let me just have some of this. Strong for all of you who taste it. Yeah, and you notice the flask itself has SG kind of carved into the metal of the flask on the side. And a small symbol of a gem, a very unique looking gem on the side. This is from the Sapphire Group. Are you in the know of the Sapphire Group? This is
Is that one of the bureaus?
It is the guild charter I work with. It's a small group of traders, but all very very experienced, you know? Most of us are older. We have been trading for a very long time. It seems we mostly have had adventurous lives and dealt in very expensive cargo when we were younger, but with expensive cargo, as you of course know, comes higher risks. Maybe dangers that we are no longer well equipped to take care of at our age. You must understand. It is not that we need the money, just, you know, something to do. It is a way of life that digs deep into your soul.
All right, not ready to retire. I get that.
Well, are we ever really? The calling of the road and the sea is a very strong one. And it'll be a sad day when I must give this up. But if you ever need anything, you know, the Sapphire Group is a well-known, well-trusted in Adgrad. We could broker deals for you, procure things for you, shipping and the sorts. We have traders from all over the world in our network.
You guys ever catch a clacker?
A clacker? Not even sure if a clacker is a real thing.
Well, if this works out, maybe you could have put in a good word with Sapphires about how lovely we are for protecting on journeys.
Well,
We
yes.
could use it.
We do keep a black book of sorts with the names of people who are useful, honorable, and trustworthy. I would be happy to.
We're definitely at least two of those.
And quick with your tongue, too. I appreciate. Good conversationalists. It is a long road sometimes. Can get very lonely by yourself. Tell me of yourselves. What brings you to Adgrad? I sense you have not been there long.
We haven't. We've been traveling for a varied number of reasons, each our own, but we've been a bit of, running from some things, and Agorad seemed like a place to maybe collect ourselves.
Capital city, I assume, with the way this boy's face is covered up.
Yeah.
Common story.
All too common, in fact. Very sad. I think one of the things I hold above all else is freedom. You know, to wander. I'm sure you, sir, understand what I mean. He points to you, Kelwise. Something
do.
about the open space, the air, just feels free, you know? As if you
Yeah.
could almost just reach out and float away at any moment. This is why I don't like caves. I've been into some caves before. I am not a fan.
You don't like caves?
You're in good
No,
company
I've done
there.
I've done some trade in some places. Like Zurok. Zurok is famous for their mines, and I have gone in to do some trade deals in there. And Zurok is a very nice place, simple people, but lots of their infrastructure is underground, and I found it not to my liking.
Wait, there's underground caves that people live in?
Oh yes. Over thousands of years, they have dug out the mines. Zorok is famous for its mines. It is where most of the iron and copper and metals we use to build come from.
And they live on there on purpose? Because like we went to like pit, and that was like a kind of like a big cave. They people live down there because they want to.
The pit. You've been into the pit.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, unfortunately so.
Yes, I would assume. I've heard many terrible stories of the people who are sentenced there. I have never heard of someone who has come out of the pit, though. Well, at least.
Looking at a half dozen of them.
They wouldn't want you to know, would they?
That's true. That is true. You raise a very good point.
I mean, if that's true, your street cred is going up with every sentence at this point.
Yes.
I mean, with this transforming one, now you're saying you went to the pit as well? This is crazy.
Me?
Yes.
Crazy is a
Yeah,
good word for it.
you're incredible.
No, you want to know what's incredible?
Yes.
And I take out the crab meat.
Oh dear, what is this?
You gotta try this.
Oh, and the smell by now is, it's a warm day. And that has kind of settled a little bit into the meat itself. It's pungent, to say the least. Odorous.
It's a little ripe.
Yes.
Gotta
When
try
it's
it.
open air, I can smell it from here.
That might not be good anymore, Pap.
Yeah, pup. You might.
With your nose, you should be able to smell that that's not. You've got to vomit.
I mean stuff like this all the time.
All right.
Mhm. Well, while we are still close to the city, I must warn you, there are certain dangers here if you have never taken this trek. There are some small beings, we call them streamlings. They are not so dangerous as long as you are above them. They are very stupid beings, you see. They like to throw rocks at creatures like ants and such. But if they see you from a high up, they might throw rocks at you thinking you are a bug close up. It's very strange sense of what you call depth perception, you see. So if you see them up above us, just make sure that you take cover. They will throw rocks at you thinking you are probably insects of sorts. Very nice if you meet them at least on level ground. But they are
How big's the rocks they throw?
Maybe the size of Cornelia here, smaller feet.
Pretty small.
But from a high height, a rock is a rock, right? It can hurt, nonetheless.
Can't argue with that.
Yes.
It's not really the size, it's more of the quantity, really, and once they kind of start ganging up on you. I got hit in the head one time and ended up at the Korseth house for about a month. I was knocked out.
Yes.
It's quite a long time.
I think we may have run into these guys, or maybe their cousins before.
Oh, yes?
Oh, I know how to talk to them.
The streamlings?
Yeah, they were
Talk to
throwing
the
rocks at us. We had to use Dresden's
Shields.
giant shield to protect us. Wasn't so good for
then you
fish,
know.
from what I
Then you
remember.
know they are, in a certain sense, they are very harmless, and in other circumstances can be quite inhibiting for travelers.
Fair.
And as you see with these tall
like the high
peaks, you never know when they are going to come. But I have these, and he kind of pulls out this, on the bottom of the cart, there's like a big wooden board with handles that you could almost just put over your head. And it kind of shows you, this is something we use just to get by. They throw
These guys
rocks,
smart.
they get sad, you know, you must protect bubbles in here. And the primal hoofs, they are pulling the cargo.
Makes sense. Hey, good
I'll keep
question.
my eyes peeled.
Yes.
Whereabouts did you say those mines were? What was it called again?
Zurich.
This something? Zurich.
Zurich is east of capital city. And he pulls out like you guys
East
have
of
that
capital
map,
city.
right?
Over the mountains?
Yes, past the Diablo Mountains.
I see.
You must stop if you're going from land. You must stop in Morok first. You stop in Moro, and you go northeast along the mountains to. Here, let me show you. And he pulls out a small a map of sorts. Let me just find it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Right? Yeah.
Right here.
he pulls out this small map. Pretty basic map. It's got some markings all over it, but he shows you like here's capital city here. And you travel through Worm Pass here, and there's Moro, a desert city. And then just you go east, there's a town called Zurich over here.
That's
And
quite the
that's-
hike.
Yeah.
Well, I have never gone on foot. I tend to go by boat, is where I mostly traveled in my younger days.
Is it a long way around?
Oh, yes, it takes many months to travel there.
I
But
see.
you stop in places like Caravella Town or Keldarnix. You trade along the way. You don't, you don't go straight there. You must
course.
resupply and such. Picking up goods. There are many trade towns along the coast. Bring them
Is
things
it
that.
is it a friendly city? Is it?
Zurok.
Yeah.
Zurok is a very friendly town. Yes, very nice people. They don't have much. They're mainly exporting lots of iron and raw ores and such. They are a simple people.
Friendly like Agorad or?
Well, maybe not as. They are maybe more conservative than the people here in Adgarad, but simple nonetheless. Very family-based, strong family ties there. Has been generations and generations who've lived there.
Must be useful for trading.
Trust just like sighs heavily, hearing about family ties and family.
You don't have any family?
Well, no. None that I know of.
None at all. You are very interesting, I must say. I mean, no disrespect, but you are a tiefling,
No,
yes?
no, none taken. Yeah, but tiny tiefling.
Interesting. I'm sure you have a very interesting story.
I know. It's such a shame I don't know it since I'm a bard.
Then you learn to play instruments as a bard.
Oh, yeah. I'll be
where
sure
did you
to
learn
play
this?
some music when we camp tonight,
Oh,
if it's
yes,
not going to
it
attract
would be
any
very-
baddies.
Would be very welcome. I will say we must be careful. These hills have the barbarian tribes.
Nice.
I will play soft and dulcet tones.
Well, no, they are not. They are not incredibly dangerous as long as you are respectful to their homelands. We must understand that we are now in their homeland as such, and they are very thick-headed and stiff-minded. But as long as you don't anger them, there shouldn't be any problem.
I know the type.
Barbarian tribes, you say?
Yes, yes. This is the homeland of the Goliath people. This is where the Goliaths first spread out into the world from.
Oh,
But you get, a dozen or so 8-foot Goliaths holding large bludgeoning clubs. It is quite intimidating. I don't think you'll have any sort of trouble allowing them to be themselves. Sometimes rude, but that is their way, You just don't show fear. You just don't fear them. You be stern, but respectful. You understand?
We can also be very rude.
Yes, do not be rude. Do not be rude, for the love of Mayans. Do not be rude.
All right, yeah.
Well,
No
I
rude.
mean,
Got it.
if Captain Tide is any indication what those, individuals look like, I think we'll be on our best behavior.
Yeah, if you like breathing, you probably should be nice to them.
There are far to the east of here. There are many large monsters and such that live in these hills that the Goliath tribes protect Adgarad from. If that makes sense, they keep them at bay. So in a sense, they do a service to the city. It is very nice to have them, so we are lucky that they do what they do. So there's a certain amount of leniency that the lending houses give them.
Yeah, I mean they're right assholes, but yeah, they help out with that kind of stuff.
Yes. They are, as you say, assholes, but they are our assholes. Right? It's a distinction.
We all have that friend,
It's an important distinction.
Yes. Yes.
We all have that friend.
Well, this is
I feel bad, Zartok. Can we ask for their names? I feel terrible. What are your all names?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry I've been talking so much. I just haven't traveled. I get very excited. Travel.
Oh no, you're doing a great job. I just feel bad. I haven't been able to ask them yet.
You,
my
Tiefling.
name's-
What do we call you?
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, you can call me Trust.
Ah, Trust. A very strong name. But are you trustworthy? Is that...
We'll wait and see.
Well, yes. Well, I will
Well,
choose to
he's
trust
from the
you.
streets.
Yes.
I would assume that name's probably ironic, but I'm not going to
Yes,
assume
but,
anything.
so are you. You are from the streets, and I trust you a great
Ex-
deal over time.
Exactly.
I'm
sorry,
from the streets originally, but I did grow up playing in a right proper inn. So you know, I've got
Interesting.
some respectability about me.
Yes.
It's nice.
Yes, I can tell. You hold yourself very well for someone who grew up on the streets. A bit of poise. It is almost regal, the way you charm the eyes, as such.
Yeah, charm in the eyes. Who's that lovely creature over there? And I look over to Cornelia. That's you.
Yes, you are not quite halfling. You have more gnomish features.
Yeah, my name's Cornelia. I'm a gnome.
Cornelia. Well, I love the name. Do you happen to like flowers, Cornelia?
Yeah.
Oh, good. And I just I make a rose kind of appear out of thin air and I hand it to you.
And watch
This
out,
guy.
girls.
This guy.
There's one just for you, hon.
Oh. Wow. Thank you.
Welcome.
I'm just
And
very
you,
shy.
with the big giant axe.
You know?
That is quite the haul. I would not have taken something on such a hike of sorts.
Yeah,
Yes, very
I don't know
strong
why I'm
to carry.
carrying it. But
Yes.
here it is. You know, I found it. It's worth its weight in making people go away.
Yes, you hold it with such poise. It does beg the question of whether or not you will walk out with all your limbs if someone were to antagonize you.
No, it's an anti-antagonizer. That's a good word.
Yes. Is that its name? Call it
No,
the
it's,
anti-antagonizer.
no, it's called the Herniax, because one of these days, I'm gonna be bedridden.
Oh. Okay. Well, that is he kind of just like thinks about it. Yes. Well, that's
Yeah, like you
quite
said,
seems right.
dangerous, right? Dangerous on
Yes.
both ends, even the blunt
Yeah.
end.
And you, halfling,
Huh.
with the bow. What do we call you?
Oh, I'm Kelwise Wandergaze. We talked about me a little
Oh,
bit
that's
already.
right. That's right. Sorry. In my age, I have lost many of my wits.
That's okay.
It's all right. We'll just call you handsome.
Oh, hey.
That'll do.
Handsome wonder gaze. It's quite nice. And he looks up at Fitz.
Maybe you should give me the
Nice.
rose.
And Fitz kind of is sizing this guy up. Fitz is like
Back off.
a little, almost a little intimidated because this guy just oozes poise, right? This merchant, he seems very, not efficient, but like capable is maybe the word. He just seems calm, capable, and prepared. And Fitz kind of, I'm Gallant Spitzwilliams. I come from the Spitzwilliams house. It is a noble house up the coast. You probably have never heard of us, but I am a noble by blood. It is something you are born into. And Zartok looks at him, just nodding. Ah, Spitzwilliams. Yes, I have not heard of your house before. I'm sure it is my fault and not yours, but to have noble blood with us is always a sign of luck. It will do us well to have you with us.
Wasn't lucky when they all got caught, was it?
Well, you know, luck can only bring you so far, you know. The weights balance back and forth sometimes. But it is a good sign to have noble blood. There is a strength in the blood we carry, and that of nobles. Who can say? And you,
Who
transforming
can
one.
say?
Me.
Yes.
I'm Pup.
Pup.
Yeah.
Interesting. Is it
Simple. I like it.
Yes. And who was your parentage? You must have a unique story as well.
I think I met my dad one time, but I'm not really sure. My father, and then I had a mother, or I think that was my mother, or my friend who's in the hospital right now told me that it was my mother, but she's a wolf. and I kind of just like lived in the forest. So I don't know.
It's not the craziest story I've ever heard, but it is up there.
Crazy.
I don't know if I call it crazy. It's just me.
Yes, well,
It's not crazy. It's up.
raised by wolf,
Yeah.
quite literally.
Yes.
Interesting.
In my ears, like.
Yes. Are those your natural ears, or is that part of your?
Natural ears?
Yes. You change shapes so often.
Yeah.
It begs the question: do you have a main form, a main look?
I think it's this one. This is like the one that I had, I think, for the longest time.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Okay. Well,
I didn't even think about. I don't think I've ever thought about that before.
Oh. Well, it is good. We have a long walk. We can talk about it. And you guys start to wind down this hill. Lots of switchbacks. There's a semblance of a trail here. And he kind of follows, but it seems like he's kind of making his own pathway back and forth sometimes. Kind of not trekking. And you start to walk, and you after maybe what seems like a half hour of trailing through these mountains, you hit this big canopy in one of the valleys. And you start to travel along the valley in between the peaks, and you start to hear dum, 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 as like a drumming starts vibrating through the different peaks. It's hard to hear. And Zartok just holds a hand up, listening. Ah, well, it looks like you're going to get your chance to meet one of these tribes of the Goliaths. Like I said before, they are not dangerous as long as you are polite, but do not be scared. They do not like people who show fear. Okay? And as you guys start to wind through this one clearing, you come out and you see there's maybe 24 Goliaths who have set up this camp. And obviously, it seems like they were waiting for you. A few of them were just staring in your direction as you clear, and one of them is just beating on this drum very rhythmically. Well, a whole host of them are just doing some like a very unique looking dance as they're dancing to this drum beat, similar to like a haka, I guess you could say. That's the style. It's not nearly as forceful, but it is that very deliberate movement. And a female Goliath, they're a little bit shorter than the rest, but still about 7 feet tall, maybe a little over 7 feet, approaches you, and she's got this shining leather armor on and this huge spear. And the head of the spear looks like it was maybe once a tooth of some kind of creature that has been just sharpened on both sides. Whatever mouth this thing came out of, humongous. We're talking much bigger than the clacker or even that chimera that you guys had seen. This tooth is like the size of Cornelia. And she kind of walks up, and she's dressed kind of nicely. It's not what you'd expect when you heard maybe barbarian tribes. Fitz and everyone had been talking about the barbarians, and Kelwise, you had known like your group had traveled pretty lightly, not like rags or anything, but traveling gear. And these tribes seem to be pretty well fitted with nice clothing, nice gear, not necessarily high tech or anything super fancy, but it looks nice. Like this leather has been tailored almost to fit her body. She walks up and looks at Zartok and the rest of you. Welcome to my woods.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. And I bow.
Oh,
I say thank you in giant.
I didn't have you. In fact, you're trespassing right now. And she looks to you, Pup, and you say thank you in giant. And she responds in giant. You know the giant tongue.
Yep. This is all in giant. Yep, I've been studying.
Are you
Is it good? Is it okay?
akin to
Is
the
it
giant? Where did you learn the giant tongue?
My friend taught me. I think that he's a giant. I don't know. He just kind of taught me.
Shall we test our mettle? Oh,
What
one
does
who
that mean?
speaks the tongue of titans?
What does that mean?
Well, I'll show you. She kind of motions to the drummer, and the drummer starts to slow down. He was playing something quick, and now it goes, kung, 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 and everyone kind of gets up and like backs off a little bit, clearing a space. And she offers you the space in front of her and pulls out a
Well, this seems
spear
good.
and puts it down,
On guard, pup.
clearly offering a duel.
Oh, and I pull out my bop stick.
Okay.
Get him.
Yeah.
Get him.
And you kind of walk into this clearing, and everyone kind of goes silent, and all you hear is kung, 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 and Zartach kind of leans in. Maybe not such a good idea for your friend to be fighting. It is not a good idea, permanent injury and such.
Is it offensive if we deny?
No,
Good fun to me.
It is more of a you just submit that you are so weak you could never beat them, and they accept this and move on. You maybe give them an offering.
Honestly, once Pup's got an idea in their mind, they don't let go. So we might as well just let this play out.
You could try to convince them if you want.
All right, Pup, give me initiative.
Inevitable.
Okay, great.
Ooh,
This will be fun.
Bobby dice.
Bobby dice.
Bobby dice.
Natural 20 on the Bobby dice.
I
Initiative
also
3.
got a natural 20 with initiative of 23. That's
Are we gonna
crazy.
rock, paper, scissors? Are we gonna do it off of decks? What are we gonna do?
That's dice
Roll
roll
again?
again. Dice roll again. Okay. Just roll another initiative roll. What'd you get?
I got 12.
Roll again.
Stop.
Roll again.
9.
Okay. So you go up, you walk, you walk up.
Series of
You
psych
start
outs.
to you walk up, and you don't even get to where you were heading to, and this huge, like very well muscled Goliath woman just screams, stamps her foot into the ground, uses that stamp to lunge forward at you with the spear, taking it, swirling it over her head, and just takes this huge slice at your body. She slices once. You
My
just
AC
barely
is
manage
100
to
now.
dodge out of the way, and then comes back with a cross slash with the back of her pole and catches you right in the stomach, dealing 5 bludgeoning damage as it just nails you, knocking the wind out of you just slightly. What is your AC now?
16.
Okay. Pup, it's your turn.
Just a reminder that I have a pretty sick ring now.
Yeah, good thing she has that on her.
So you'll remember. Gonna bop. I'm gonna go for
Okay.
a bop.
All right.
For my first stuff.
What is bop for 500, please?
Yeah, exactly.
Roll a bop.
Rolling a bop. 22.
22, that hits. Roll damage.
Great. I was prepared for this.
I'm
Hello?
just passing a flask around everybody. This is great.
My headset
All right.
just cut out. Hold on. The audio output capture. Oh, you know what? Wait.
Wait.
There we go. Hey. Now you can hear them. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Oh my god.
That was impressive. Yeah.
Aren't you guys glad you can hear the audio now?
Yeah.
Quick, mute them again.
And it's been a while.
Oh, there you go. There you go. It just reset. All right. Cool.
I would
Anyways,
like to,
boom! You hit her right in the noggin, and it just.
And they
It's
laugh.
like attacking a rock. You've hit the
That's
skull, and this woman just boom. It just stops. And what do you
in
just do?
giant, I say, I like your style, and then I furry blows her.
Okay.
Fury blows.
Flurry of blows.
Okay. First one is a 12 to hit.
12 does not hit.
Great. The second one is a 18 to hit.
An 18 hits.
Great. 4. Yeah, 4 damage.
Okay. Again, hitting her. Just this hulking mountain of a warrior coming at you. And immediately that smile turns into a grimace as she just swings for the fences, two-handed, takes the spear and swings it like a baseball bat, swinging it around her head in two giant wisping motions. The first one just catches you right across your chest, dealing 12 points of damage as it just gashes. And you feel not a cut, but a rend as you look, and this has been sharpened in a way that it's jagged. This isn't a knife, it's a saw. And she just comes, slices you, and as you're falling backwards, you feel the ring light up, and the tip of her blade just bing, seems to bounce off the finger ring that you have as it barely misses you on your second attack.
Bop!
Okay, yeah, Pup jumps back in and it's just a bop. Bop back.
Okay, and as I'm doing this, I'm just yelling, "You're amazing!"
Pop, pops, pop, 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 pops.
Six
Pops.
Pops.
16 hits.
Great.
Pop, pops.
9.
Ooh, 9 more damage. Yeah,
Yeah.
hit
Yeah.
hard. And this
Bobby,
time
you 60 roll
you
real
bop,
nice.
yeah, you bop, and while it hits her hard. Again, you see just that slightest bit of like brain moving in her head. This time, just like, oh, all right, that's
And then I'm gonna furry blows again.
okay, yeah. Furry of blows.
Hey, Bob.
Pops Moxie.
Ooh, 24.
24, that hits.
I'm not the
Great.
bard,
And that is 6 damage.
Okay.
And then second hit,
In the background.
that is 23 to hit.
23 hits as well.
Great. And that is 7 damage, full damage.
Ooh, dang.
It's a 4.
Okay, yeah, you flurry with this stick, and you
What's another 4?
and you nail it. You start to really go to town. Very impressed. This woman kind of takes a step back, reassessing the situation, jumps in with her spear this way, stabbing at you. Ooh.
I'm probably screwed.
That, alcohol.
Let me just roll on this chart really quickly.
Oh no, I'm screwed!
Oh, come on.
My other leg's
Have some
break.
fun.
Yeah, except when you realize that
Pup is
criticals
dumb.
can include
Pup
instant
is
death.
dumb. Can we get a pup is dumb in chat?
It's a fun battle.
All right, so she goes in to spear you, and at the very last second, grabs your stick, sweeps your leg to knock you down. Is now holding the stick. Roll an athletics check to see if she can grab your stick away from you.
Okay.
22.
22, another 22. Oh my God! Roll again.
Yeah.
Again?
This is nuts.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I am in love with this woman. Athletics 16.
Oh my God! Roll again. This is crazy. This is the nuts. I've never seen this before.
How is this? Who does math? This
Okay.
isn't mathematically possible. Is
I
it?
have another 16.
Oh my god! I just rolled another 16! Get out of here! Get out of
It's
here!
not April 1st, right?
This is
These two
crazy!
have very similar vibes.
All right,
They're-
I'm gonna
This is
say,
weird.
yeah.
Did
I
they just
Power of
like
the
they're
body.
just like
Fate.
clashing,
This
clashing
is fate,
boats.
yeah. And then they just like they have that moment where they're like, "Ooh, why are we fighting?" This is like this is some weird.
I was like, I'm like
connection.
aggressively complimenting her the whole time in
Yeah.
giant.
It's like
All right,
someone
that's a
fighting their
15.
clone.
What did you get?
Okay, let me roll
One
again.
more.
That is a 18 plus 3, 21.
21. So she runs, she sweeps your leg. You manage to keep your feet, but she grabs onto your stick and tries to basically sock you in the head with her other hand. Which is, oh my god. Another 20? Wow.
Ooh.
Dealing
I'm so dead.
dealing 6 points of damage as this huge fist just comes in and it's partly because she's holding onto your stick and you are too. She can pull you in and just really get in there with this underhanded punch. Just boom!
No.
Socks you in the stomach. Ooh. And Pup, you fall to the ground.
I had,
And this is kind of
literally
a-
had 6 left. That was
Oh.
perfect. I
Yeah.
swear.
Well, I double crit. That was kind of unfair. You fall down onto the ground, and you guys see Pup kind of fall to the ground, and the other Goliaths start chanting and slamming their spears and their fists on the ground in this ho, ho, ho. And you kind of see Zartok visibly like upset. Maybe a little out of his element. What are you guys doing?
Excuse me. Can we get them now? You're very strong. You're much stronger than us. You have proven it. May I take that pup?
And this woman looks at you and she kind of wipes this blood that was coming off of her cheek. She has lost the match.
They are passed out, and I don't really see the problem. Can we just? You won. You proved your point. Can
Well,
we do you a favor?
they are in my debt now. And until that debt is repaid.
Right. Well, she can't repay. They can't repay it unless they's awake. So can I please go heal them?
Heal them. Absolutely.
Thank you. Scurries.
Yeah, and you guys see there's like 8-foot tall barbarian Goliaths with these huge spears and clubs just kind of smashing the ground, being incredibly loud. And Trust kind of waddles out there with her little legs over to Pup.
Can I help? Yeah.
Who's like, you're not sure if their rib cage has been crushed in. The blow that was landed with the fist was almost like you could feel the shockwave from where you were as Pup's
Sure.
body took that blow.
As we like carry her off, can I just look at them and say, "I'm sure she had a lot of fun. Thank you."
Well,
Or sure they had a lot of fun.
Trust, are you gonna heal
We're helping.
Pup?
Oh,
Well, they're letting me, right?
They're gonna let you heal him, yeah, but
not move.
it doesn't look like they're gonna let you carry Pup off.
Oh.
I
This
look
woman
at.
stands over Pup's unconscious corpse, kind of just.
If you're
brooding
gonna save
there.
him, probably should do it quick.
I look at Zartok, and is he just freaking out still?
Zartok is kind of, like, you see him kind of racking his brain. He's kind of gone into, like, how do we fix this situation mode.
Problem-solving mode, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna use level 1 Cure Wounds
Okay.
on Pup.
How many HP is that?
1d8 plus 3, so 5 total.
Hell yeah.
So, Pup, you kind of wake up dizzy. Your stomach feels like someone hit you in the gut, which they did.
Oh, and I
This-
just like, open my crab and.
And this woman's huge shadow just overlooks you. Little one, you have lost. You are now in my debt.
That was amazing. Can you teach me?
Teach you.
Yeah.
Well, I will say, and this is all in giant.
Yeah.
You did fight well for one your size. I am not unimpressed. Next time you come through these parts, and your leg is healed, a fair fight. One of true grit and might. Let us see who the victor is then. This you owe me.
I would love that. I run up and just hug her leg.
And as you hug her leg, the other clanmates kind of start to, like, almost like, what's going on, what's going on? And she just kind of smiles down at you, very victoriously. It's not the smile of, like, I'm hugging you back. It's like the, I beat you and you basically are my slave because I'm the best. Kind of air to it.
Pup does not register that. Pup thinks that they have a new best friend.
Yeah.
Brave little bastard. Goodness.
I like nuzzle in.
I like him. I like him a lot.
And she looks over and she says, "You are all under the eye of the fleet. You have lost this duel, and you owe me. You owe Inahu your next return." And the drums start picking up again, that rhythmic beat of the doom, to doom, to doom, to doom, to doom, doom, to doom, doom, to doom, doom, and the dancers start to do that weird rhythmic dance again, and you see Zartok kind of whisper, "You're very lucky. This I saw going much worse than this, although they have put up quite a fight. I did not think the Transforming One was so well versed in combat. Looks like I was right to have asked you to come with us on this trip."
Street cred.
Very tenacious, that one.
Although I will say, next time, if Inathu gets serious, she will maybe not leave your friend alive. I would prepare. Or take a different way around to get back to Algarad so you do not cross their territory.
I have to come back.
Yes, you
She
do
says
have
she
to
wants
come.
to fight me again.
Well,
After my leg's better.
they
though.
have
She wants
said
a fair fight.
the next time you come through, you must fight her again. If you do not come through again, you maybe can prepare better for the next time.
Oh. Either way, she said when my leg heals, and I do not think my leg is going to be healed anytime soon.
This is true as well.
In your estimation, if Pup were to be killed in that, what would happen to the rest of us?
Well, a new challenger would be picked from you in similar fashion.
Oh, so we all be dead. Great.
So we just
It-
avoid
it,
them.
It depends, you know? It depends on what kind of mood they are in. They are very temperamental, as I said before. If they have not fought, you can usually catch. One of the strange things that I have learned is coming through these parts right after a large skirmish or battle has happened between clans is actually very good for business. They are tired, they have expelled all their energy. You can pass through in much more peace. It does not seem like they have warred very, very recently, or fought each other, or anything. The large beasts in these plains too. You wait for the hearing of such goods, such as fangs and bones, and the meats of these big, large beasts, and you know that they have expelled quite a bit of resources. In catching this thing and fighting, you are usually much safer. This is just a thing I have learned over time.
That tooth that was on the end of that spear, do you know what that came from?
I have never seen anything that large before. I could not say. it is very rare. I've only seen a few of the Goliaths in this part that have spears that big, or at least teeth that big, if that is what it is.
It was pretty frightening.
Mm.
Hope we don't run into whatever that came from.
Well, it does seem like we should move on, and I should make an offering for them. And he pulls out like a small box, which you guys can smell is fine kind of tobacco. And he walks over and bows very, very low, with his hands outstretched, and in the giant's tongue, he responds, "For you, an offering." And she takes it, and you can tell, like, she was kind of waiting for it. Like, as a victor, you get a prize, even if, you know, she's owed this other thing. He kind of hands it to her and smiles, and the other Goliaths in this makeshift camp kind of just stare at you as he quickly, like, okay, we should move on. Yes, we are good. Pup, you are okay?
Yep.
Wow, look at that gash on your chest. It's very...
I know, it was awesome. Did you see that? Do you guys think that I could like do like little thingies in my bop stick? In my stick to do that also?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
You might.
I don't think that's how sticks work, actually.
Well,
Uh,
if you got the little thingies in it, might be.
true. You could whittle it. Some notches.
It's made out of metal.
Oh.
Oh, the bop stick. Well,
Then
there.
we shouldn't call it a
Of course
stick,
so,
should we?
Well, what else do I call it?
A rod? A staff?
Bob rod.
It doesn't have the same ring to it, does it?
No, it doesn't.
I should name it. I'm gonna name it. But what was her name? I yell back in giant. What was
yeah.
your name?
Anathu is what
Anathu.
she had said.
Oh. I'm gonna name it Anathu.
She might find that insulting if you tell her.
No, I bet you think it's cool because it means it's strong.
Okay. But can we play a game where before you rush off and fight someone, you tells us all first?
I don't like that game.
And as you guys kind of wind through that rhythmic drumming, you still hear it, and it echoes throughout the path for quite some time. And you travel pretty briskly for a while through the woods, and that rhythmic drumming gets lower and lower. And maybe you haven't gone super far, but because of all the up and down and switchbacks and going around, and especially because you have to bring this cart, you might be able to make this journey twice as fast without a cart being drawn by these primer hoofs. But you travel maybe a good, what feels like 9 or 10 hours before Zartok just kind of holds up his hand. There's a small clearing where a pool of water has made a small lake. It's not quite a lake. It's very shallow, but it looks like a lot of the mountain runoff has pooled up here, and you see quite a bit of animals and such that have come. You see a small creature, a red creature, maybe 2 feet tall with little spines going down its back, tiny little arms and tiny little feet just kind of staring at you from across this little makeshift pond. And they all kind of slowly back away and then crumple into little balls and just roll away off into the distance.
Gotta go fast.
Strange creatures, things you've never seen before. A few more normal to the Potsenshire forest. You do see some very tough-looking, smaller goat creatures that are very nimble and can climb and jump through. Lots of birds and such in these forests. And Zartok, this does look like a good place to stop for the night. Yes, we can maybe set up a camp and rest, and then bright early in the morning after the fog is gone, we can continue the rest of the way to the camp and the outpost. Does this sound good to you?
Sounds good to me.
Please,
Right.
big one, Dresden.
Yeah.
Come, you come help me with this tent. It's very heavy.
Sure.
Yeah, and he kind of
Are
pulls us
almost
out.
as small.
And Zartok, while he's unloading these big, heavy stakes that were in the bottom, Pup, can you lead these primer hoofs to the water to help them out? Maybe trust
might.
you help?
Yeah.
Please?
I lead him to the water,
Okay.
and then I proceed to get in the water and just float.
Yeah. And maybe while this is happening, Trust, you can play us a song of sorts.
I'd
Would
be
fantastic.
honored. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. So Pup, starts going out, and Zartok takes you Dresden Array, and this is like a pretty sturdy tent. It's big, it's nice, it's a little lavish. Kind of leaving the rest of them to kind of unpack the rest of the goods and such. Cornelia, you and Good Buns and Cowwise are kind of left at the back of the cart. Stuff there to unpack, foodstuffs and things to set up maybe a fire or such as everyone kind of goes off.
Yeah. And as we're going, I just say to Cornelia, if you couldn't tell already, Zartok's a man who knows what he wants and gets it. I feel like you might be similar in that way a little bit. Am I wrong?
I'm just blushing the whole time.
Right.
Maybe.
Well, I can tell you're new to Adgarad, so if you ever need a tour, let me know.
Okay.
Let's pack this up.
All right.
And so it starts to get dark. It gets darker pretty quickly here with the tree cover and the high ridges of the mountains. The sun goes down pretty early. Still light outside, but quickly the light starts to turn into big shadows. And out here, the stone, the wood here, and the general shrubberies are moist. It's kind of a wet, almost marshland feel. Lots of moss, lots of leaves. Zartok goes to the cart and pulls out some wood from underneath some dry kindles of wood and starts to set up a fire. I trust...
he is wealthy.
Yes, it is strange, right? In Adgarad, you go anywhere in the world and a fire pit is a common thing. I have become very accustomed to having a fire pit every night. It is something
Same.
I like to wind down, smoke some of this tobacco, which you are welcome to share with me, and just watch the flames. It is
Thank
good
you.
for retrospection, as you will. And he pulls out a pipe and loads it a little bit with some tobacco. Loads it, yeah. Takes a pipe, gets it started, takes a big draw, lets out a huge smoke ring, and passes the pipe to you. This pipe is very nice, almost ceremonial in stature. It's a little ostentatious. Maybe the first thing that you're like, this is a little over the top. This pipe, like I can tell you really like your tobacco. But it's
I just,
to you.
I look down the barrel, and it's not purple and glowing, is it?
It's not. No.
Okay. Right.
No.
I'll take a nice long drag off of that.
Mhm.
Been burned before.
Yeah, and you guys are settling down, and you start to share. You share this pipe for anyone who'd like it. You share the pipe around the fire. And he's maybe a little rosy-cheeked, taking hits off of that flask with the SG on it from the Sapphire Group. That fire whiskey.
Were there fish in that pond? That little pond?
No. This is like very shallow, maybe 2 feet at the very deepest. It's a tiny little it's not really a pond. It's just like runoff of dew. You're not even sure that like on a couple dry days it'll be gone, right? It's definitely not something that would last long enough to have an ecosystem such as that.
Well, I would have maybe then gone to go foraging for food or something for us. Small game, whatever I could find.
Sure. Yeah. Roll a
Herbs while I'm at it too.
roll a survival check. Let's see what kind of game you find.
always on the bad one. What do I have? +3 on that? That's a 7.
A 7. It's really hard here. Most of the creatures can move fast, and they don't just move horizontally, they move vertically fast. You do see those little little red rolling creatures. They can almost go vertically up walls with their little spikies. They just kind of up and down. Very Sonic the Hedgehog-esque, but almost vertically up walls and then move away. It doesn't look like they can go vertically. It looks like their momentum carries them up and they have a great grip and they can like top peaks, but they have to land, horizontally eventually.
If they hit things, do they shoot rings out of them?
Yeah. You see some larger lizard creatures, almost iguana sized, like a large iguana almost, but they're quick. They move fast, more like a gecko. Swirling about, and you don't catch any. Most of the bigger game tends to stay pretty far away from you. But there are some lizards you could catch, and there are some interesting looking berries that not enough to really feed a lot, but you could try out this stuff. It's something kind of new to you.
I would pouch the berries and probably show them to Zartok, because he'd probably have a handle on what those are, and bring back some lizards for us.
Okay, yeah. So you managed to bring back a few of these bigger iguana-sized lizards, which, as far as you can tell, are edible. And you kind of bring those back to the camp and just plop them down. These dead, scaly-looking creatures.
It's not much, but if we cook them, it might work.
Ah, look at them. The long tongues. And
long tongues.
Yes, they are called long tongues. They are not quite as long as the primer hoofs, but they are called long tongues. I have had on occasion. Very good eating.
Well, dinner's on the menu then. What about these, by the way? Have you ever seen these guys? And I show them the berries.
You show them the berries, and immediately you hear and this primer hoof just comes barreling down straight for you. What do you do?
Throw it.
Okay, yeah, and its eyes just and its tongue rips him out of the air, and it just like almost a grin, just like and its tongue just back onto the ground, and it just kind of waddles away.
Quick thinking.
I did not quite see what they were, but I assume they are sweet berries, probably good for eating. Bubbles just ate, so.
I hope.
Yes, I did not. I mean what I said. When you pull out sweet foods, they get very tenacious.
Well, that was more tenacious than I was expecting, I'll be honest.
Yes, I thought Bubbles was asleep, but apparently not.
Yeah.
Papa's just looking concerned, floating in the water with like their little jar of honey-covered crab. Just
yeah, it seems like the decomposing, rotting, the rotting crab seems to have masked any kind of like honeyed flavoring that they might have wanted.
Oh.
Just like floating in the water, just.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really? No one? Yay!
Pup doesn't have taste buds? No taste buds on Pup?
Well, we do have a long night ahead of us, or a long road tomorrow, so I will bid you good night. Thank you for a very interesting day. We maybe have more adventures tomorrow, huh?
Hopefully not, but yeah.
No.
Well, maybe not play as high stakes as this, you're right. Good night, everyone. We'll see you in the morning. And he goes to that big tent and kind of sets up some stuff.
Do we need to keep watch?
Yeah. I'm gonna do it.
That's gonna be on me a little bit. I kind of keep a lot of the night watches here, so if you want to join me, though, anybody's free to do so.
I'll join you.
Right, go for it, Corny.
Yeah, it's gonna be Cornelia.
Never mind.
I mean, I wouldn't mind that.
I'll help.
All right, well, yeah, come over here. I'll show you how I usually keep a troll. Yeah, it's a whole order to it.
Okay, yeah, and you guys all kind of settle down for the night as Good Buns kind of walks closer to the cart, farther away from the rest of you as you're sleeping around that fire pit. Just kind of hops up onto the cart, just a solid distance out of whisper shot of the rest of the group.
So, this is basically it. I was kind of bullshitting back there. This is kind of look, yeah. But I mean, I have, good company, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, we just walk in a circle and observe.
Yeah, you can do a circle. You can do, zigzag, straight back and forth, whatever you like. I'm into all kinds of different methods, so.
Well, what's your favorite walking pattern?
Oh, I usually like to keep it kind of a circular kind of motion, just keep things kind of moving.
Yeah, that sounds
Kind of get a full kind of, checkup of the whole area, really. Just in general, yeah.
Yeah, let's check out the whole area.
So, I noticed you got a couple of tools of the trade there. You got a couple of daggers on you and stuff. Do you have a hot feet?
I have tiny feet.
Well, yes, you have tiny feet, but do you have hot feet? I mean, that's kind of a term in our trade, right? Those who those who have sticky fingers like to borrow things, not bring them back, usually.
Hey, what are you getting at?
I'm saying that you and I share a common interest. We like to take things from those who don't need them anymore. Am I wrong?
Can I no, I'll wait.
I mean, I don't want to presume, but from all the things you carry with you, like me, I have some daggers. I got a couple of blades on me.
What do you have? Let me see your things.
Sure. And I immediately I pull out my rapier, which is got this kind of nice rose vine design on the bottom at the base. This is thorn. Here, check it out.
Oh my gosh. Just gonna hold it and swing it around all fancy, showing off a little.
Oh.
Hopefully.
I can see you're good with the blade.
Well, so you just stay up all night and watch the cam, or what do you like to do?
Well, typically, if you're in the mood for it, I like to challenge those that are of the same persuasion as me. Would you like a challenge?
Yeah.
I knew you would. How about tomorrow while we're walking down the path? If we both see a good time for when Zartok is kind of busy, maybe we can try to take a certain item, a ring that I saw him take, actually. He beat me to it, little bastard. But I know that has some interesting properties to it, and I really want it, so I've been meaning to grab it, but if you get to it first, I can't stop you. But it could be a fun challenge.
You want to challenge me to steal a ring before you and your partner?
A steal off, that's correct.
A steal off? I just light up with hearts in my eyes. All right. Let's do it. Starting now?
I was gonna wait until he was awake, but sure, if you want to start now, we can. Doesn't seem very fair when he's sleeping, but it's up to you.
All right. We'll start in the morning.
All right. I can tell from your look in your eyes, we definitely share the same glimmer. You're right. I look forward to it. Maybe you can show me a few things while we're, staying up late, bored.
All right. So this is gonna keep going on. You're just gonna keep letting us wander the night. I mean, awkward flirtatious conversation.
Yeah, he just asked you about your equipment and showed you something of his equipment and what he's got on him. And that's pretty much.
Yeah, we're just showing off our daggers and pouches and the like.
Yeah. So the innuendo continues.
With his dagger?
The innuendo continues for hours as they walk together in a circular fashion. One of Good Bun's favorite patterns to patrol on. The night winds down. You all kind of settle in for the night. Nothing too crazy happens. You do hear some interesting, Kelwise, you notice there's some interesting animal calls. You would understand that like some creatures of the night have different ways of interacting over long distances that you normally wouldn't understand unless you were looking for it. Like a wolf howl, but much, much more subtle. Pup, you the same way. You would notice that there's all kinds of interesting animals communicating in strange ways, and it's quite loud at night in the Mount Bighorn. Just insects everywhere, different kinds of animals calling back and forth. And not only that, you do hear the moisture, water, like the night seems to bring a little bit of rainfall, very light rainfall, but that does start to fill up the pond, so almost like the trickling of water filling this pool. And then day comes, and the sky is lit up well before you can see the sun because of the huge peaks surrounding you. And Zartok gets up. You guys see him come out of his tent, stretch a little bit, and he pulls out like a block of cheese and some old bread and starts cutting slices of this cheese onto the bread and some dried meats and such, and just starts snacking on some stuff. And again with that flask, it looks full again. He's filled up that flask and has taken a of the Dwarven fire whiskey, taking some hits as he walks up. And you guys are kind of awake by this point. Ah, good morning. I trust you slept well.
Always do.
Ah, yes. Well, shall we pack up and go? Dresden, I would ask for your assistance again, putting this large tent away. Please.
It's quite the opulent tent.
Yes. Well, I do not take many... I do not spend a lot on myself, but there are some spaces where I have done well, and I can splurge a little bit, if that makes sense to you. Just
makes perfect sense.
I do like to sleep on a feathered surface, you know? I spend lots of money in my home in Outgrad on a very nice bed. Made from 1,000 geese, as they say.
It's a lot of geese.
Yes, well, the fellas have loved
How many
geese.
fives is that?
It is
That's a
more
lot
than
of
2.
fives.
Definitely more than 2.
That's a lot of fives.
It is more than 5 fives, if you will. Yeah, you guys start packing up.
And I'm just keeping an eye on Cornelia this whole time.
Yeah. What's your demeanor like this morning?
Me?
No.
Okay.
Good Buns.
My demeanor.
Yeah. How are you acting?
As usual, he's very, happy-go-lucky, just making jokes.
As
but
if
he's
like
keeping an
nothing
eye on
happened.
Cornelia.
Nothing
Yeah.
happened last night, right? Like,
Did nothing happen?
rule 1, we don't talk about.
I don't know. Did you guys
happened
paint the
last
black? Like, what happened?
Yeah, nothing really happened like that.
We don't
but-
talk about Fight Club?
Yeah.
What we're saying?
So you guys start
didn't
back up.
What happened?
Zartok again pulls out that jar of jammed berries and slathers it on his feet, and those primer hoofs with their big tongue walk up again and just almost just cover his foot with their giant lips, this giant goat lips, and just licking in between the toes and everything, coating with that mucusy kind of saliva that solidifies on his feet, giving him that extra grip when walking on stony surfaces, and offers to each of you just slathering the jam on. And these things they cannot. This is the favorite part of their day. Your feet are the best thing that has ever happened to them today, and they just you know this. Have you ever met people who eat hot wings? There's two types of people who eat hot wings. Some people eat like the wings, kind of, and then put it down. And there's people who like clean the bones of wings, and they will start to gnaw out the marrow of, like, they're the true. They love hot wings, and it's just there. There's a certain amount of satisfaction and enjoyment about getting every last drop of wing out of that, and that's what these primer hoof fat goat buddies do. They just every ounce of like, if any got under your nails, if anything got between your toes, any fold on your foot, they're gonna find it, and they find every ounce of jam. And you guys all coat your feet. It dries, and we start
toe jam, if you will.
We start walking again.
It's pretty good.
And maybe it's 2 or 3 hours down the line, and you see a peak that is a little different from the rest. All these peaks reach these points, and you see a peak that looks like the top has just been cut off, almost like a steep plateau, almost rising up, and you see big leather walls and posts. Wooden posts have been stationed all over that area.
What is this, Mount Versace? Leather walls?
Yeah. Well, it's like posts, and then there's leather skins that have been laid across it. It's not like they're wrapped around any posts or not. It's just like an animal skin has been flayed and hung out as maybe a wind barrier of sorts. Not even really much. But it does seem maybe a 4 or 5 hour trek. And you come around, and you eventually make your way over to that, and you have to go around this spire. It's like there's a round corkscrew that goes up this path. This path seems a little bit more man-made, more well-traveled. But you travel for most of the day, traveling around in this heavily forested area, and you notice most of the wood in these trees is very, very wet and thin. It would be not worth it. Because remember, in Adgarad, wood was really rare, and it was hard to get. There wasn't many trees around, and yet in this area, there's a lot of foliage. It seems like there's a lot of wood, but not a lot of this wood is. Oh, we're losing people. People are dropping out. Huh.
Oh no.
Yeah.
There we go.
Well, this wood seems so waterlogged and so wet that you'd kind of recognize like it would be impossible to burn or even make anything out of it, even if you dried it out. This wood, in Kelwise, you touch the wood and it's very brittle. The trees here aren't grown very. Anyways, the trees here aren't brittle. Are brittle. I'm sorry, and they just kind of break. The branches snap easily. It's not good building wood, and it's so waterlogged, and it's become strangely warped and such that you kind of understand that none of these trees are one, they're not burnable, and two, you can't build out of them. So it's kind of like they're surrounded by these trees that you would think would be worth it, but they're not. That's kind of something you notice when you're walking this last couple days. What are the rest of you guys?
So that's the entire forest overall. Like all the trees in this entire forest are unusable for fire as firewood.
Yeah. It's
wow.
They're just yeah.
Why do you hate wood so much, James? Why do you hate wood?
You do notice that there's
what did it do to you?
There is like a moss. There's a moss that's grown into these all the wood in this area. And you know, there are some plants and mosses and such that if you burn them, they can be toxic. So, Kelwise, you kind of take note of these trees with this really thick moss on them.
Can I collect some of that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do I know if it's the moss that burns
You
and is
don't.
toxic?
You don't
Great.
know, but you can
Well, we'll
assume
find
that
out.
there's reasons why. I mean, if wood is so valuable, there's reasons why people haven't just come into these hills and taken all of it.
Got it.
So, you guys kind of go and you hit this point where you're basically just gonna corkscrew for a half hour up here to hit Windspire Outpost, and you guys start trugging along. Cornelia, this whole time I know you were challenged to a stealing contest. Is there anything you want to do during this time?
Yeah, it was a ring. I assume he's wearing it. Have I seen it?
Oh, sorry. I would have mentioned it's in his coin pouch. Keeps it hidden away.
And I can see the coin pouch, or have I? Is it
he's
visible?
he's got a coin pouch on his belt,
It's just
it's tied to his belt, so it's a tough thing to take.
And then we're still on the way there. I'm not going to do anything at this point while we're still just in the company of this guy.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Bobby, roll a d20.
Okay.
Let's see how Good Buns
Nat
does.
20.
Nat 20.
Oh gosh.
So you notice Good Buns kind of give you an eye, walks up and bumps into Zartok, and then just kind of gives you an eye. You can't tell it's hard. He's so quick and fast. Kind of.
But the eye gives it away.
Knowing
Though.
eye.
I know.
Maybe he took it. Maybe he didn't. It's hard to tell.
But I no longer see the pouch.
No, the pouch is there.
Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah. So you guys wind up, and when you get to the top of Windspire Outpost, it's really just one big wooden thatched canopy, huge, with a small chimney-like structure and a big fire pit in the middle, and you see a series of what look like Goliath clans, and each of them very distinct in how they dress. Maybe 2 or 3 clans, and it's only like 4 or 5, maybe even small families. It's hard to tell. And you notice there's a halfling woman kind of sitting in a one room, I guess, out there. Maybe like a studio underneath this thatch. You see her sitting out front, and she's just carving some potatoes with a knife. She looks pretty normal, nothing too unique about her. But as he pulls up, you hear Zartok, "Ah, Parcel, it is good to see you again." And this halfling woman kind of just doesn't even get up, keeps peeling, looks up. "Oh, hello, Zartok. Good to see you. Make yourself at home. Always a pleasure. I'll be with you when I'm done with these potatoes." She just keeps peeling.
Is there anything
God.
we should know about this place?
Well,
In order to
it is
not cause any friction?
Yes, this is a good question. This is seen as sort of fair place, safe haven. You know, it is no fighting. This is for trade only. All the clans in the area have agreed it is in their best interest, and they hold each other accountable. You know, if one were to attack, the others would most certainly gang up and destroy. The tribes in this area are very vicious, very strong. What keeps them apart, and keeps them from probably taking over the entire world, is the fact that they are all so divided. Their stubbornness keeps them divided. It also keeps them in check here, you know?
Yeah.
fearsome forces and such.
All right. So, like you said, best behavior. We're fine.
Yes, be nice, but do not worry. No one will hurt you here. You have my word.
I don't usually worry about that, but okay.
Yes. Not with your herniacs.
Yeah.
Awesome name, by the way. Really awesome name. Seriously.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna bite me one day.
Oh,
I don't
your
think it's the appropriate name.
I found the poop tree.
Oh, you're back.
I was looking really hard for that poop tree. Got it.
We gotta find the right one, you know.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, will you point out such poop tree so I do not stand near it when we exit?
No, I will not.
Well, if that to look forward to. Well, please make yourselves at home. Oh, there is the matter of your payments. You have gotten me here safely. Thank you so much. And he pulls out that coin pouch, Cornelia, that you've been eyeing, and starts handing out 5 gold pieces to each of you.
Thank you.
He doesn't.
Thanks so much.
Doesn't notice the ring's gone.
He looks in that pouch. He pulls out 5 coins for each of you. Doesn't say or do anything. I will be here for a couple of days trading and loading back up, and if you are still here when I leave, you are welcome to accompany me back. But I will let you know I am here for maybe a week's time before I am fully loaded to head back.
Oh, if we head back with you, would you know a way to avoid the other Goliaths on the way back down?
Yeah, yes, we can take the long route. I have not gone around. There's no saying we will not hit another tribe, which is its own. We will
Another
be
tribe
in
would be
the-
better than that tribe.
Yes, the fleet is one of the more organized, bigger clans, so avoiding the fleet would be good.
I agree. Friends, what exactly were we picking up here?
A package for the Magus.
Do we know who we had to speak to?
At the trading post. That's all I know.
Let me look back at my notes.
Actually, Cornelia just wants to like eyeball Buns. Do I see anything on him? Do I see a coin pouch or anything on him?
Do you have a coin pouch on you? Good Buns?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got his own coin pouch.
All right. Are we leaving them right now? Because I want to...
No, I mean,
Be
you guys
like-
just got here. Yeah.
All right.
We've got the rest of our lives.
Are you looking up something?
I am.
Zartok, let's say we were needed to pick up a package that might be here. Do you know where we might find one?
Yeah, you talk to Parcel. She runs the outpost here.
Oh, wonderful. Well, if she's still doing those taters, I'll leave her be for now.
Oh, well, she has lots of taters to go. If you have a question, she can talk in Diskin. Taters at the same time. I don't see the problem in this. She is very nice. She comes off harsh. She's a strong woman, just is very caring, you know? Do not be
Very
afraid
well.
of her. Not like Inathu. Inathu, strong woman, but in different way. If you catch my meaning.
I see what you mean. I'll wander over.
Okay. Yeah, and she's just like, shh. Shh. Well,
What time is it, roughly?
it's maybe 6 o'clock. Sun, you're on the top of that peak, so you can now see again almost to the ocean. This peak isn't as tall as the other ones, but you're up higher, so the sun, you have more sunlight towards the ends of the day, the beginning and the end of the day. And she's just peeling potatoes. She doesn't even look up. Just shh. Hello.
Evening, ma'am.
How you doing? Haven't seen you here before.
Never been. So that makes sense.
Well, welcome. Always
Thank you.
value new adventurers willing to come out here. As you see, it's not the
Quite
safest trip,
beautiful
I'm
up
sure.
here.
Yes, well, it's one of the reasons I came here, to get away. And just spend a little time with the world, with the earth, as sorts. Pulls another potato.
Fair. We were sent here to pick up a package.
A package?
Would you be the person to speak to about that?
Yes, I would. Who is this package for?
The mages.
The mages? Alright. And you could see just doesn't even doesn't really phase her. She's used to this people picking stuff up. And do you have a writ?
It's a very good question. I don't believe so. Friends,
And
we
she
have a
kind of looks
writ.
up. But you,
What's
this time stubbing.
What's red?
What does she do?
She kind of just stops peeling the potatoes when you say no.
No.
Well, how do I know you're here to pick up the magus' goods if you don't have a
Very
writ
good
from the
question.
magus himself?
Did we have her, guys?
I would like to walk over. I would like to saunter over to Dresden.
Ooh.
Okay. Roll a performance check. Roll a performance. I want to see what kind of saunter is this. You have been walking all day. You don't have shoes on, and your feet are still covered in that
Like a
mucus
hobble.
dirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
Oh,
tripping.
Come on, trust. Do it. Oh no.
Hold on, what's my mod? Performance, right?
Mm-hmm.
A 10.
A 10. Not the most graceful, but you're practiced. You've done this before. You're, so you kind of saunter up. Dresden, you clock like, what the hell are you doing? Like, immediately. Like, oh, God, here it comes. Like, just in the back of your mind, you're like,
Well, I'm getting
here it
used
comes.
to
You just know that something's coming, and you don't let it show on your face, but in your mind, you're like, here it comes. All right, Trust. You saunter up to this halfling woman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Oh.
hello.
Hello? What seems to be the problem over here, Dresden?
Well, we were asked if we had a writ, and I couldn't remember if we had one. For the
Seems
mages'
strange that you
package.
would, the magus would send you over here without a writ to pick up his package.
Well, you see, what the honest truth is that one of my very best friends, you see, got gravely injured, almost died, and the only one who can fix him, put him back together, no, that's the other one. Our other really close friend, say he was in the pit, and he got stuck, and we rescued him, but he is not well. You see, he's got this ring, and it's cursed, and he's always dying, but never living, and the magus would only help him if we picked up his package.
Well, that does sound like him. But I'm afraid I can't just give you a package without a writ.
Makes sense. DM, did we get a writ?
No.
Okay.
No.
That's all I need to know.
No, he kind of just glossed over it. He's like, yeah, I just pick up a package. And
Cool.
Yeah, Barry walks over and talks in halfling. Dear, listen, why don't you help them out on me, all right? If they fuck up, just tell the maggots it was me, all right? They're a pretty fun lot. I like them.
yes, I'm not going to trust you. I know what kind of sticky fingers you deal with. You've got hotter
They're
feet than
stolen from
most.
you, darling.
You know.
How sticky?
I have never stolen from anyone here, darling. I know what I'm talking about.
Ah, well, that's because I would hunt you down like the dog you are.
Oh, I know it. That's why I don't steal from you. Now listen, I respect you and I like you, and I'm asking for a favor here. If they screw up, I promise you, send the maggots after my head. Because I
Well,
believe in these.
He'd be after both of our heads, wouldn't he?
I just want to
How
start
about-
performing in the background of this. I would like to just start playing my music.
Okay. Yeah.
Camp.
So Trust, you start to play roll a performance. And are you playing? Or are you just
I'm using my enthralling performance.
okay. So yeah, you start to help out. You start to help.
22.
22. Okay. Yeah, you start to play this music. And this woman's hard edges seem to whittle a little bit, round out. She was very like, not a shot in hell. Not a shot in hell, Barry. Like, I know your wiles. And she seems to settle a little bit. As does most of the people around you. In fact, all the group, you all feel drawn to this music. Pulled, almost like every note has its own gravity that just sucks you in a little bit more. And you see her kind of, ow. Look, if it was anyone else but the magus, you would need a writ, but I know how boggle-minded that man is. This better not come back to me. Barry, this is on your head.
They're a lovely bunch. Listen to that music. They're not going to fuck you over. Don't worry about it.
Barry, look at me. Your head.
Mother, I won't fuck you over, I swear. On my honor.
Barry, your head. I can't save you from him.
All right. Come on, dear. Hand it over.
And she goes back into her hut, and you hear rummaging around, and you hear like some big lock, and you hear as like some almost iron door is unlocked, and then you hear and another lock, and she comes out with this small satchel. It's finely made of a nice dyed deep purple leather, tied at the top with a little bow, and it doesn't look heavy or big. And she just hands it off to you, Barry. Your head.
Right.
Your head.
On my head. All right. Here you go. Pass it on over.
She just goes back to peeling potatoes, clearly a little uncomfortable with what just transpired.
Went very well. Good job, Trust.
Just nod as I play.
I'll just take it and tuck it on the inside of my shirt.
I bet you receive top dollar in the cities, don't you?
Me?
Oh, her for her playing.
I'm still
Oh.
playing. I'm ignoring him. I'm playing.
Okay. Yeah.
She does.
It's like you're used to hecklers trying to talk to you and ruin your music while you're playing, so it doesn't faze you.
Appreciate it, really. And I toss her a gold. You deserve it.
Can I take his pouch at this moment?
Yes. Roll a stealth and a sleight of hand.
Okay.
Bobby, give me a stealth, but send it to me in chat. Or roll a perception. I'm sorry, perception.
Okay.
Well, wait.
So
What is? Just send me your perception in chat.
And I wanted to remind everyone we're not to open this package.
I think that's why I'm holding it.
you
The
said
one rule.
you said stealth and then sleight of hand.
Yes.
So 24 and a 19 on stealth. So 24 is
Ooh.
sleight of hand. I know.
Nice.
We'll see what happens.
Okay. Yeah. So, hold on. I'm gonna sidebar with Barry Goodbuns for just a quick second. What are the rest of you guys doing throughout the night?
When
You
I
said there-
oh no, go ahead.
No.
I was just gonna say when I had that package in my hand, was it heavy? Was it light?
It wasn't
Was it like
super heavy.
a couple of pounds?
It was not even a pound.
Okay.
Yeah. Empty though. Like it seems substantial, but not whatever's inside there. Not solid. Almost like like a bag of stones, maybe, almost something grainy, almost maybe sand. Not super heavy though.
Bags of sand. Yeah.
Make sure I won't turn it upside down. Oh no. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
You said this was a place that people trade at. Are there traders here?
Traders!
It doesn't seem like you guys seem like the only traders that are there at the moment. There, you do see that there were the other Goliath tribes, and as the sun kind of went down, some of those groups of Goliaths left. One group decided to stay, and they're sleeping there. It's hard to tell. I mean, Zartok said he was going to stay here for a week to load up and then head back. So you maybe assume that, like, maybe you just kind of go and set up. You can assume he just kind of either trades with Parcel or just sets up a shop and trades with the Goliaths as they come until he gets full and stocked and then heads back,
Yeah, I'll see if he needs another hand setting up his tent and whatnot.
Yeah, and he totally appreciates it. Big, heavy stakes that he, in his big tent. He sets the whole thing up. Full down comforter and everything.
Magnificent.
I don't know what an oathwood tree looks like, but could I do a perception check for trees that are different than all the rest? Something that stands out, maybe?
Most of the trees here are very similar, and they're very strangely, they're very gnarled. They just shoot in different directions. They're thin, but they just wind out. It almost looks like a thorn bush, but just a bigger thorn bush. That's what these trees look like, winding vines. Honestly, though, nothing. I mean, oathwood is like from these vows and the seeds that they give you from the vows, and nothing. You would assume something like that's probably pretty ostentatious, maybe not, but you don't see anything that stands out as irregular along the horizons.
There's not just like a tree that's taller than all the rest somewhere visible.
No, nothing like that in these hills.
But we had seen like hundreds of those sprites, right? Or thousands, I assume, or
of the sprites.
Of those little things that
what?
came out of the lake.
Oh, at Apondo, the Dance of the Ancients, Ancestors, Dance of the Ancestors. Yeah, the like very starfishy type things that floated around. Those seem to just be in Odgarod.
But there were like thousands of them. There were
hundreds probably, winding around, but very bright though, lighting up the whole town in waves.
I think those don't have anything to do with the oathwood trees, though. I think is that what you're thinking?
I
mean, as far as you know, no. They just said they were just Thargun had explained that they were the ancestors who had vowed to protect Odgarod,
Right.
and so their souls were eternally there in generations and generations to protect. And he said that he and his family would eventually become one of those to protect the city.
Right. But the oath trees come from the seeds that you get from the...
Well, so they're linked, like it seems like each of the houses made a vow to protect Odgarod. So their vow is what is linking them there. So you would assume each house probably has a tree somewhere.
But one per house, not one per light. One per family?
No, you'd think it's probably one per house.
So they're much more rare. Okay. Okay. Something to keep in mind on our walk back.
Yeah. And Cornelia. Oh, go ahead, Pup.
I was gonna say I'm gonna be practicing smelling the difference between things. Okay. I'm just I'm huffing my dagger and trying to get that smell down, sniffing the friendship coins. I want to be able to smell someone, be able to be they have these things on them. I am a dog. Going through security. I'm a security dog.
Security. Yeah, you start to for the first
just
time
huff my dagger.
Hone your nose to be more precise. You have a strong sense of smell. It's just that you've just smelled things and that was it. And now you're like, oh, like, it's always been more of a passive thing in your life. And now you're trying to turn your smell into more of an active skill and ability. So you start to sniff the different things, and there are many things. You do notice that you have a jar that smells much stronger than all the rest of the things. Full of, by now, just expired crab meat mixed with honey.
Oh yeah. No, if it's the next day, I'm not eating it. I'm only eating it that whole first day.
Okay, yeah. There's still a little bit left, and it is well past expiry.
Oh yeah, no. I'd give it 24 hours before I like threw it away.
Yeah. What are you doing with that jar? Are you just kind of throwing the jar away, or are you gonna clean out the jar?
I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it sealed up tight. Keeping it for later.
Yeah, it's it's intense. It's intense.
Like a circus, you know.
Like Zartok. It's intense.
Yeah.
Cornelia, you reach into this pouch. Seems like Barry doesn't even clock you as he's talking to Trust silently. Your hand just shoot into his pouch, out, and you have a small silvered ring in your hand. Very simple ring in your hand.
Cool.
And you notice that inlaid in it, it's got small, very thin cut gems inlaid within the band that you almost don't even notice at first. And when you spin it in the light, it almost seems to with light as it shimmers in the light.
I'm gonna put it in the pouch that I have inside my pants.
Okay. Yeah. So you just stick the ring down your pants.
Yes.
Into the pouch. We move. Okay. Yeah. And the Trust, your music seems to wash over these plains, these lush green mountains, these peaks as they stab up into the skies, almost resisting the air, resisting gravity. You all settle in for the evening as Parcell lights a fire, and you notice a lot of the wood that Zartok had brought, he starts to pile into this big pile near the house for Parcell. It seems like part of what he was bringing here was just a boatload of firewood. As she makes a fire, starts to boil some potatoes in a big cauldron, cuts some carrots, throws a few herbs in there, and starts to make a vegetable stew of sorts. And it doesn't smell strong, but it smells edible as she throws a few chunks of meat into the stew as well to kind of flavor the broth and such. And as you guys are smelling this and kind of winding down for the night, we'll stop here for the week and pick up next week right here on the plains.
Yeah!
Hell yeah.
Plains, death mosquitoes.
Yes!
Yeah,
Oh no.
It's the worst place to be. Run away.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Hell yeah,
Playing
Goliath
the whole
fight.
time.
That was awesome.
Oh my gosh, I gotta fight a Goliath! I didn't do too bad. Like that was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
Right? I love her, dude. I want her to be my senpai.
You did what? Like 30, 40 damage?
I did an amount.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Gotta fight a freaking Goliath. I'm so
Yeah.
stoked.
All right, just checking this stuff. I think music is playing. I don't know. My audio settings get all messed up. Thank you, everyone, for hanging with us through all the disconnection
Thank
audio
you.
things.
Oh.
Really appreciate you guys being here this week. I hope you enjoyed it. We have a podcast or YouTube, which is now in HD because I exported them all wrong. So they're all now up in 720 HD. If you'd like to check those out or catch up on old episodes, we'll be back on Friday just to hang out. We'll probably play some Valheim. Blueberry Boys, Blueberry
Blueberry
Boys.
Blueberry
Come
bitches.
check that out. Hang out with us on Friday. We'll be back with more D&D on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific. In between then, if you're bored, we have Miss Abraham Lincoln and Miss Hello, I Am Kate. They stream pretty much all the time. One of them will be on at any one given time, having fun playing games. But until then, we will see you next week for sure, 7 p.m. Pacific. Take care of each other, take care of yourself, and we'll see you again soon. Bye, everybody.
Later. Have a good night.
Bye.